Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Yale. Derek Yale. Derek Yale.
Derek Yale.
Derek Yale.
No frontin', can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something, let it be no frontin'.
We feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions, and this panel comes with different styles in discussing national issues.
I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
If you are living a glass hot, don't throw stone.
No frontin', can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome to the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN for short. LRTN, as you know, is a local media institution based right here in Northeast Philadelphia, PA, with an operating office that just recently opened in Liberia. And here at LRTN, we cover events in the diaspora and around Liberia. So please do us a favor and kindly follow this network on Facebook and YouTube. That is LRTN, or the Liberia Radio and Television Network. Tonight, LRTN is proud to present episode 2, season 4 of The Horizon. And as you know, The Horizon here is an opinion-based talk show that features a team of panelists from diverse perspectives, political ideology, and political institutions. And just by way of disclaimer, the opinions and position offered here on The Horizon is not the official position or opinion of the network. On The Horizon here, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. So please do us a favor before I go any further and share this program on your Facebook page so that your friends and family may be able to benefit from the program we have here tonight. I'm playing host tonight. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm joined by my co-host and reporter, Mr. David Talkbert from Liberia. Mr. David Talkbert.
Yeah. Good evening or good morning, Derek. Good afternoon. I don't know what's the time there.
It's evening, so good evening is actually at night, just 8 p.m. So, but it's good to have you, Mr. Talkbert. And now let's introduce our panelists for the night. And guys, as our panelist is coming up, please do us a favor, share the program on your Facebook page, and also follow the network LRTN on Facebook and YouTube. So, but for the night, let me introduce to you our panelist, Mr. J. Mawolo. Mr. Mawolo, welcome to episode 2, season 4 of The Horizon.
Well, I say good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world listening to us. To David, I say hi again, and to you, Derek. Thanks for being here and, for offering our people another occasion to listen to different ideas, and we hope it will help them make up their mind to do the right thing for that country. Our country is in a bad place, but we can make it better. We deserve better. So we're here to share our ideas and do what we can to help this situation. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. J. Mawolo. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Your contribution to this show is definitely one that we do need here. But again, guys, just to give you a heads up of what's coming up on this episode of The Horizon, so we will bring you, as always, our current event from Liberia, and then we will also bring you the current events from the diaspora. And also on this episode, we will be talking about the RIA drugs saga. So we will we'll have our panelists give you their thoughts on that, and we'll dive into that conversation. And also, all roads leads to the Rescue Mission official campaign launch. We'll have our panelists give you their expectation on the Unity Party official campaign launch on September 17th, 2023. So we will have that discussion here tonight, and as the show goes on, some of our panelists that are running late will be with us shortly. But for now, let me join Mr. David Talkbert so he can give us the current event coming out of Liberia.
Okay, so good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. With less than 30 days to the October 10, 2023 Liberian legislative and presidential elections, The country's elections commission has announced the materials, including ballot boxes, have arrived in the country. The commission, in a statement earlier this week, said it has also received sample ballots for all categories for training purposes. It's a tactile ballot guides for visually impaired and assorted stationery materials for the conduct of the polls are among materials that have already arrived and are stored in a central warehouse. Liberians will, on October 10, go to the polls to elect a president and members of the national legislature. Unknown persons have burglarized the Liberia Revenue Authorities or LRA customs offices at Rabas International Airport. The burglary occurred just 2 days after the suspension of the director of the airport security, Samuel Freeman, on allegation of being one of the accomplices in the smuggling of illicit substances through an unauthorized gate at the international airport. LRA's media manager, Danisha Singbe, has confirmed the burglary but dismissed any link to the recent drug bust at the RIA. Meanwhile, police have arrested a man identified as Joe Wealth in connection to the alleged crime. In a related development, President George Weah has dismissed the allegations, suggesting that his government may be contributing to the growing cases of drug related addictions across the country. His chief of protocol, Finda Bondo, is accused of link to the crime, but Finda has since denied. Addressing hundreds of his supporters in Bangabon County recently, Weah said the claims by people he calls his opponents are untrue. He said the issue of drug abuse across Liberia is an age-old problem that he says cannot be blamed on his administration. And finally, LPP's standard bearer, Jawan Gonglo, an hour ago issued a statement saying or informing the Liberian people that he will be mounting pressure on the legislature to, to impeach or start an impeachment process of President George Weah if the Liberian leader fails to take a punitive action against Finnabono or calls for prosecution. Derek, that's the current developments from Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Turkway, for that splendid reporting coming out of Liberia. Now, before we transition into our current event in the diaspora, let me first urge you again to please share this program on your Facebook page so that your friends and family will be able to benefit from the program here tonight. And also, please do us a favor, follow this network on Facebook and also on YouTube. To bring you the current events coming out of the diaspora, we will begin with the U.S. The U.S. marks 22 years since the September 11th, or commonly known as the 9/11 terror attack. The United States this week paused again to remember the tragic events of September 11th, as this year marks the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, the anniversary commemoration of the terror attacks that killed almost 3,000 Americans took place in New York City, Virginia, and Shanksville, PA. Several communities planned 9/11 anniversary observances and commemorated the day in several ways. On the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack, President Joe Biden, speaking at a memorial ceremony in Anchorage, Alaska, called for national unity and also urged Americans to rally around protecting democracies, stating that we know that on this day, every American heart was wounded, yet every big city, small town, suburb, rural town, tribal community American hands went up, ready to help where they could. It's more important than ever that we come together around the principle of American democracy, regardless of our political background. We must not succumb to the poison of politics of difference and division. In another development, Hunter Biden, the son of President Joe Biden, has been indicted on federal gun charges. And today, President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted by special counsel David West in connection with a gun he purchased in 2018. So, West has been leading the Hunter Biden investigation since late 2018. The probe appeared to be when winding down in June when West announced a two-pronged agreement under which Biden would plead guilty to two federal tax misdemeanors and enter into diversion agreement. So what could happen next? Hunter Biden is currently in California, and this is being reported by CNN. Adding any plan for self-surrender or initial appearance, including the date and location, still needs to be worked out. If convicted on all counts, he could face up to 25 years in prison and fines up to 750,000, according to the court ruling. In another development, right here in neighboring Morocco, earthquake hits Morocco. September 9, 2023, the deadliest earthquake recorded in North Africa since 1960 hit Morocco with nearly 3,000 people dead, more than 5,600 injured as of 2 p.m. September 13, 2023, as reported by CNN. Following this devastating earthquake, CAF agreed to postpone the African Cup of Nations 2023 qualifier match between Morocco and Liberia that was initially scheduled to take place on Saturday, the 9th of September 2023. In our final development in current events, Libya hit with flooding caused by Storm Daniel. And just by way of information, Storm Daniel is an extreme rainfall from a storm or system. So just over 14 hours ago, Libya was hit with a flood from Storm Daniel, and the story is still being developed. Where you can visit Al Jazeera website to get more information on that development. That's all we have for you on our current event footage. But as we usually do, we bring this to our panelists for discussion, and this is actually an open discussion, Mr. J. Mawula. So any one of these current events in Liberia and the diaspora that you would like to touch on, I will give you the opportunity to do just so.
Well, thank you. But what bothers me most, I mean, my condolences and sympathy to the people of Morocco and Libya, first of all. I spent some time in Morocco, 3 years. I don't know if that's the worst that they had, because I remember 1969, the whole city of Agadir went under. I mean, crushed down to the ground by an earthquake, and they rebuilt the city to anew. And it's now one of the top touristic cities in Morocco. These people are very industrious, so I'm sure they will rebuild, but the lives lost, they cannot. So I want to extend, first of all, my sympathy and condolences to the families that lost people, and my sympathy to the nation for the devastation, and also to the people of Libya. I mean, those are natural phenomena. We can't do much about them, but we pray that the people will work together and rebuild their country. Now, as far as Liberia is concerned, what concerns me most is this drug issue. I mean, the stories and explanations that I've heard are so elementary.
Mr. Mawolo, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we will be getting that is one of our topics tonight. So
okay.
Yeah, so let me hold you there so we can actually have the opportunity to discuss that. Well, let me now welcome the Lord Mayor of Bentor, Bobby Mitchell Crawford. Bobby, welcome to episode 2, season 4 of the Horizon.
I'm actually in the show. I don't see myself on the screen, but
Are you there?
Good to see you. I'm using my cell phone. For some reason, my computer is acting up. This is a sophisticated computer. It's actually one of the most expensive one, but it decided to let me down.
Okay.
Mr. Mauro, good. I bring you greetings. Good to see you,
Good to
my
see
fellow
Okay.
partisan.
you. Good to see
Mr.
you.
Jawinkin. Is the revenue on tonight?
No, man,
It's just Mr. Mauro for now.
Is Mr.
Okay.
David?
I'm not wearing my spectacles, so I can see clearly.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm calling you live and direct from Mama Point Hotel. You know how we do. Well, it is a pleasure to be here on a serious note. It is a new day in Liberia. We are going to fix the country. I bring you greetings. As usual, my name is Bob Mincher Crawford, the living lawmaker of the city of Bentor, the capital city of Mosorado County. And I'm here live and direct to put some fire in the show. We're not keeping awake yet. So let's talk with some zeal. This is the high zone. All right. Thank you, Derek. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Bobby Mitchell Crawford. It's always good to have you, especially for that energy you bring to the hard zone. You're right. This is what the hard zone is about. Before we close on this, just to provide updates on what's going on in Libya. Uh, the flooding caused by Storm Daniel that devastated eastern Libya has killed at least 6,000 people
Oh
and
my
displaced
God.
about 30,000. In the face of nearly 10,000 people are still unknown. And Al Jazeera is reporting that bodies are still being recovered and rescue teams are struggling to even access Derna and other towns caught up by storm damage. Also, help only started reaching Derna on Tuesday, more than 36 hours after the disaster struck. But that's it, guys, from our current event folder. And stay tuned. Continue to follow this network. Continue to share this program. Right now, we'll take a very brief break. When we come back, we will get right into our discussions. Again, guys, this is the Hard Zone. My name is Derek Yale.
Hi, my name is Martha Tomle, owner of Matisia Natural Hair Salon, located on 4405 Chestnut Street. We are specializing in locks, natural hair, braids, and etc. Call us for all your natural hair needs. You can reach out at 267-703-2330. If you have pictures or videos you want to send us, you can send it to 267-224-0693.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. You're back here on the Hard Zone, my on the Library and Television Network. Before I get into our discussion for the night again, let me remind you please to follow this network on Facebook and also on YouTube, and please share this program on your Facebook page so that your friends and family may be able to benefit from this program. Now, guys, let's get right into the RIA drugs saga interception. Who's responsible and what does this mean for the nation? So, Mr. David David Tarkman, my co-host, actually did an excellent job covering that in current events. So I'll go back to him so he can take us. He can take us on with this conversation, and then I can have you guys take on it.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. And before we came on air, there were already reports speculate, across the country that the chief of security at the Roberts International Airport, who was suspended as a result of his alleged role in the smuggling of the illicit substances, had disappeared from the country, had fled the country. And that was the report. That's what some media institutions have started reporting. But the Liberia uh, Drug Enforcement Agency, or LDEA, has issued a statement, or this evening issued a statement, or last evening issued a statement denying that, contrary to the reports that the local media, that Mr. Freeman had escaped to maybe a nearby country. Mr. Freeman is still in the custody of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. and has gone nowhere, and he's in the custody of the LDA pending his prosecution. And as we speak, there are also reports, and LRTN Liberia hasn't confirmed these reports, that there are documents that are in the hands of some online media institutions that Finda Bondo's signature is on one of the documents, suggesting that she is a consignee of the consignment of drugs that recently intercepted by officers of the armed forces of Liberia at the Robertson International Airport. There are also reports that the conversation Finda, Finda allegedly had with some staff or some personnel of the RIA directing the movement of the consignment of drugs were or was recorded, secretly recorded. I understand Finda was secretly recorded by by people at the RIA, some unknown persons at the RIA, when she was doing a conversation with whoever at the RIA regarding the movement of the drugs, and she was secretly recorded. She was secretly recorded, and that recording is believed to be in the possession of a media or an online media house that is planning to bring it out to the public. I haven't heard that report, or LRT and Liberia hasn't put a hand on that report or hasn't heard that report. And LRT and Liberia hasn't suggesting that Finda's signature and that Finda is the consigning of the consignment of drugs. This is the discussable issue across Monrovia, across Liberia, that Finda is indeed the consigning of the consignment, the consignment of drugs that recently arrived in the country. And as I said in the news that you heard in the latest development, the trending developments from Liberia, Tiaron Gongolo, maybe about 2 or 3 hours ago, issued a statement that he will put pressure on the legislature if they return. He will put pressure on the legislature to ensure that they begin a process to ensure that President Weah is impeached. If he doesn't take some punitive action or doesn't ask Finda Bondo to resign her position until she can exonerate herself from the allegations that have been brought against her regarding her complicity in the smuggling of the drugs into the country.
Mr. Takwe, thank you so much. Before I go to the other panelists, I just have 2 questions for you. So let's back up a little bit. Samuel Freeman, the director of security, he was suspended for time indefinite. Does it state the reason for which he was suspended in his suspension letter? And also, and also in the case of Finda Bonda, is there any other thing that plays her with that incident other than her signature missing from a document from a media institution?
Well, let me first of all start with the Finda issue. Initially, when the news broke out, when it was reported, when the news broke out that AFL personnel or officers assigned at the Robertson International Airport had intercepted a consignment of drugs. What we heard initially was that Freeman, when he was confronted, the first name that he called was Finda Bondo. That Finda Bondo was the person.
So he called her name Finda Bondo. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. That Finda Bondo is the one that owns the consignment of illicit substances.
Okay.
And so since that time, Finda has denied the claims regarding Freeman. Yeah, Can I go to Freeman? The other questions?
Yes, go ahead, please. Sorry.
Well, regarding Freeman is the chief of security, is the chief or director, or whatever the title is. but he's the
Chief of staff.
He's the chief of security, not chief of staff. She's
chief of security now?
Yeah, he's the chief of security at the Roberts International
Oh no,
Airport.
I thought you were talking about Fina Bono. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about no. Finda is a chief of protocol, not even chief of staff in President
chief of protocol. Well, she's everything, anyways.
She's the chief of protocol in President Weah's office. But Freeman is the chief of security at the Roberts International Airport, suggesting that whatever security matters that occurs at the RIA, he should be the first person of contact. Besides that, he was the one, as chief of security, he was the one that directed the movement of the consignment of the illicit substances. And what we're hearing, that he was the one that ordered the driver of that vehicle that was conveying the consignment to use the unauthorized gate. It is because
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to go to the other panelists. But just summarize this. So Samuel Freeman stated that the what was on the truck, the consignment belongs to Fina Bondo. Was Fina Bondo investigated, or after she had denied, was she investigated by the government of Liberia?
Well, and this is the pressure that there's some President Weah. This is the pressure that there's some President Weah to ensure that Fina Bondo resigns her position and submit herself for questioning at the LDEA or the Liberia National Police to exonerate herself. And this was the pressure that some President Weah, who as we understand has already left for the United States to attend the UN General Assembly.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. David Tarquin. Now, let me welcome the panelists that did join us, beginning with Mr. Jai Winkin. We are welcome to episode 2, season 4 of the Horizon, Bishop Haggard, and Mr. Bowden. Let me welcome all of you guys. Beginning with you, Mr. Bowden. Welcome to episode 2, season 4 of the Horizon.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, folks. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Bishop Haggard, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad I could make it tonight. How are you guys doing, all my dynamic panelists?
I thought you were about to say you know the party people. That's how. Well, Mr. Weah, it's good to have you back. Now, let me come straight to you, Mr. Mawolo, on this whole RIA drugs saga. Give us your take on it.
Look, these people need to stop taking Liberian people for fools. And I don't blame them because we allowed them to. We got a Senate that is totally dysfunctional, incapable of doing anything. We got a government that, I don't know, is a monarchy or what. Listen, this guy called himself chief of security. The first thing is that, do these people understand the gravity of those positions that they just take and give to anybody? The second thing is that I remember when the LRA was having that press conference, they had one guy standing there who said he was the one who imported the stuff. So where is that guy? Where is that guy? The first thing, I told people as soon as I heard that thing, I said the military don't arrest anybody. Whenever you hear that the military is arresting somebody, there's a tip off from a foreign government, and they don't trust the security system. So they send the military to do it. And that's exactly what happened. And for these guys to be playing around, why would somebody arrest something and don't open it to find out what it is, but keep it for 2 weeks and open it in front of TV? Who are they trying to fool? These people knew from the get-go what it was. They were pressured by a foreign government, most likely the American government, that forced them to have that press conference and forced them to admit that it was drug, because they knew it was drug from the beginning. They tried to cover up, and the pressure forced them to come and pretend like they were they were interested in finding out. Finabono name will call, but Finabono is on the plane with the president right now going to the United Nations. I mean, come on. How far is that thing going to go? You say going to DEA? Which DEA? The people that don't even have a pickup? Look, Liberian people, it's about time you people decide enough is enough. We got the 10th to do this thing. Kick the people out. Let the next government penalize these people for the harm they have done to this country. In every way, these people have been nothing but bad news for this country. And that whole drug issue, what they say, the Moringa tea, is a scam. They try to cover up. They are being pressurized, and if the Liberian people, they imagine this so-called came, they were recalled to extend the contract of a company whose contract expire in 2026. That alone is criminal. But then we allow all of that to happen. So, guys, let me hear what you got to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mawola. Let me come to you, the Lord Mayor of Bentor, Bobby Mitchell Crawford. Give us your take on this.
The paramount responsibility of any government is the protection of its citizens, and also to provide security, both foreign and domestic, for the people. We don't work. If you work in corporate America, usually when they have meetings, they talk about safety. Before even they discuss about profit margin and every other thing that has to do with the company. What we have here is a dereliction of duty. President George Mane Weah has abdicated a responsibility to protect the Liberian people. I wish Mr. Sherry was on today. He's the CDC chairperson residing in Philadelphia, so that we can have the discussion. Since the inception of this administration, 6 years going now, all we have heard is drug stories after another. They want to seize at the free port of Monrovia. Another one, they were investigating the people that got away, and now we see this one. The sad part about it is our children are suffering. Mr. Mao, you said it right. Come October 10, we have a responsibility to put George Weah and Kohlhaas out of office. I mean, I've seen video all around on social media. It's almost like you're walking on Kensington Street.
You don't have voting right. How do you have to put him out of office? You don't have voting right. You're Mawolo and you and all of these people.
How can you establish how you know I don't have voting right? What makes you think I don't have a voting card?
I'm just guessing. I'm just putting
you didn't guess. You made a statement.
I'm just putting your legs.
No, you're not pulling my leg. You made a statement that is construed as valid. You said you don't.
I'm putting a leg, Lord Mayor.
No.
I have my voting card.
I do have my voting card. But that besides the issue, that's a distraction. But here's the thing, though.
Thank you, Bobby.
You see, we are creating. It is about time that we get serious about these things, because the future of that our youth is being mortgaged by these actions of President Weah. He's so indifferent to the plight of the Liberian people. It's almost like I really don't care. And it's on that front. Honestly, it's on that front. That is the reason why we say this election is pivotal. We have to come up October 10th and send a resounding message to President Weah that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it's about time that he leaves so we can fix what he spoiled already. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Bobby. And before I come to you, Mr. Boda, let me piggyback on what Bobby said. This is sad for our children and for our future, and also given the fact that we are at war with drugs, we have a serious crisis with disadvantaged youth. And Front Page Africa is reporting here that from research, it is shown that meth was part of the drugs that was on that consignment. And we all know meth is a very addictive substance. So my question to you, and why you giving your take on this? What does this mean for Liberia, especially in our warfare against drugs, Mr. Buddha?
But do we have a war against drugs? We got a situation, but I'm not sure about the war.
Mr. Buddha, situation what address that issue.
You know, it's kind of sad and funny. What Labrador has lost is
There's nothing funny about this, Mr. Border.
Allow him to explain what's funny.
let me finish, Bobby.
Thank you.
What I'm saying here is that, Liberians have no love for their own country. People that are being interested with positions, I mean, it's everything we attributed to the president, and I think Liberian as a whole has a responsibility in the government. They are being trusted with position to perform, and that is the security apparatus in the country has to do their job. But I see everything is surrounded by the president. If we got people who are elected in the offices, Senate and representative, I want to talk about. We can't always just focus on the president. There are people who are responsible, who got due responsibility to perform in that capacity. And we see this time and time again. And everything's happening around the president. The drug issue in Liberia is not just drug. We are tired. It has been there for a long time. I think social media has exposed us to a lot of things that we see today that makes the news. Some of the things were happening long ago. And it's sad that we got people in leadership who are working in a very key position who's supposed to perform that duty. If you catch somebody with some substance in the country, there are procedures that you're supposed to follow as a legal or security-minded people. Check this person, get all the evidence, get all the information that you need, and follow it totally justice department. That's not the president's responsibility to catch drugs and follow it. It is a responsibility.
Let me interrupt. Okay, I want to just squeeze something in real quick. The way you were saying. Go ahead. I will ask you after.
So these people first should be turned over to security, do your work, and turn the case over to the Justice Department. And let the president say, okay, this person cannot go to court. Or this is what happened.
And when that is security, they're escorting the thing, then who's supposed to carry
So that's what I'm talking about. We are not paid for ourselves. So we can't attribute all of that to the president. So if you should be able to perform your duty in the full respect of the Constitution.
Okay. Mr. Boda, to your point though, according to Mr. Tagwe, that Samuel Freeman, who is the director of security at the LDA, who was suspended for time indefinite, stated that the consignment was
at the RIA, not LDA.
I'm sorry. At the RIA stated that the consignment belongs to Finabono, who works very closely with the president. So who are you attributing this whole saga to? Are you saying that the director of security should not have listened to Finabono, or are you saying that there's a possibility that she may not have instructed him to do so?
Finabono is not above the law. Finabono is not, she has a duty to perform as an aide to the president. That does not negate the fact that she can be prosecuted for whatever crime she commits.
All right, so yeah, let me
I mean, assume that because she close to the president, so she has the leverage to just do anything she wants to do.
All right, let me take Bishop Hagar real quick. Bishop Hagar, give us a take on this whole.
And Derek, before you go to Mr. Hagar, I want to make this injection.
Do it very briefly.
I want to do it very briefly. You know, I'm here in Liberia. I've observed LDEA officers arresting people that they've caught with drugs, marijuana, and other drugs, and their focus have always, that is the DA officers' focus have always been what is in the possession of those that they have arrested or the suspect. out of their cell phones or monies in their pockets. Once they get rid of the monies and their cell phones, they let them go. And that is obviously because these people are underpaid. They don't have the requisite tools they need to wipe with vehicles and other tools that they need to wipe with. As a result, they're vulnerable. They are desperate. When they come on the field, they arrest people with drugs. Once they take their funds from them, their money from them, they let them go. So it gives the government a hard time. It gives the country a hard time in terms of quelling the rise and the proliferation of these narcotic substances across the country, and that's one of the major factors that uh, that is weakening the government resolve in terms of fighting the issue of drugs abuse across the country.
Yeah, but David, to a point though, real quickly, I mean, the agencies serve as a way of connecting with the president.
Let's take Bishop Higa real quick. He's been with him for a while. Go ahead, Bishop Higa.
I totally disagree with all those who've been talking about the government had difficulties. That government is a cartel. It's a jaw-pushing cartel. George Weah and his bunch of criminals, they are a jaw-pushing cartel, period. Let me ask you people, if the CIA called George Weah and gave him evidence of those who brought drugs into the country, what did the government do? They set up some group of judicial people to free all the people, and within seconds, the government said they never knew where they were about the people. We talk about 100 million worth of drug came to Liberia, and people that were evidence were presented to the government. Hard-fact evidence. Nothing came out of it. You know why nothing came out of it? Because they are very powerful people at the higher level. I truly believe at the highest level, because it's not possible in a country where people were arrested, evidence produced by the American government to our government, and the people just left the country. We don't have no trace of them. Somebody very powerful who is connected to those people. That's the reason why those guys were let loose. Today, I hear my friend Border talking about we are not patriotic. Listen to me. It's not about patriotism. It's talking about the government living up to its responsibility.
Thank you.
Responsibility. That is it. We're not talking about patriotism here. No. The government of Liberia must live up to the constitutional mandate.
So the government is the president.
So it's not patriotic. It's not lack of resource. It's the willpower to do something.
Guys, I will give you guys the chance to
listen. Not addressing thing. Let's look at it.
Hello, Mr. Bode.
Not agree to we are the worst president we ever had. We are the worst president we ever had. But let's people behave.
Mr. Bode, listen to me.
Put it in the check.
Mr. Bode, they can find 50 million to run campaign, buy t-shirt, be talking yama, all that stupid thing. But they ain't got money to even buy one drug testing machine, and DA will say, oh, that T they get them, they go carry to the UN. The UN drugs agency said this thing have drugs inside. It's not a disgrace for a government. They don't even have one machine to test drugs, but they move around this place in Mercedes and all kinds of things at the expense of the taxpayer. Let me tell you. Do you want me to tell you what is going on? There are very high-level people connected with the government who are benefiting from this drug deal. And Liberia, listen to me. I'm telling you people, Liberia has become one of the drug transiting nations, and that will affect all the Liberians. Anywhere, it happened to Nigerian. When you're Liberian, you want to travel out of that country, they will suspect you to be a drug pusher. Liberia will not get visa. Liberian businesses will be challenged. It will have implications for the economic development of Liberia. So I'm calling upon all of Liberians that listen to me. Your October 10, your vote those criminal out of office, those cartel, those job pusher must leave our country alone. Period.
Can I ask Bishop Hager a question, Derek?
Go right ahead.
Yeah. So Bishop
Actually,
Hager.
I'm sorry. Actually, before you do that, let me see,
Yeah.
Mr. Board. I'm sorry. Do you have a rebuttal? Because I see you were having an exchange with Bishop Hager.
Yeah,
Do you have
no,
a
Mr.
rebuttal?
Moderator, you got to allow the thing to flow for intellectual
Look,
consistency. This is the
what
household.
I'm seeing here
We're
is,
not being boxed in here.
Yeah.
Derek,
Thank you.
let,
Go ahead, Mr. Board.
let us look at this issue holistically. Don't just talk about the president. Liberian people have to learn to perform in a capacity.
I will stop you there 1 minute.
So no,
Since
no, let me
let me
finish.
ask you one
Let me
question, Mr.
finish.
Bode. Mr. Bode,
You
since
can't,
the drug issue came up, has the president of Liberia ever make a public statement condemning it?
it's not everything the
I
president
ask you a
has
simple
What are
question.
you
Answer
talking
me.
about? Why are you
Answer,
being on the
It's
answer.
not
politics?
everything.
This
There
is
are people
glaring.
in position that are
This is
responsible
something
for
that has national security consequence. This president is supposed to speak.
Come on, Bobby. That's not
What are you
everything.
talking about?
Nobody come on the air to make a statement.
No. You cannot compare the American government to the Liberian government. We are a unitary state where the executive branch wields considerable power,
God.
You can't just have a
especially
conversation the president is
when
working on the
implicate the
president.
chief of protocol.
To be
It
honest, Mr. Bode,
implicates the president chief of protocol.
Mr. Bode,
So that's what it's supposed to say something.
the problem about drug
No,
business,
for
has the government job we ever addressed the
I'm
issue?
surprised you kind of callous about the issue, to be honest.
take your emotion out of this.
It's not emotional, my brother. It is not emotional. It is something that implicates the president chief of protocol.
Guys,
So it's at his doorstep.
That's what I'm
Mr. Boda,
saying. Yes, sir.
Bobby and Mr. Boda, guys. First of all, let me welcome Reverend Addy. Reverend Addy, thank you for joining us. This is episode 2.
Greetings, everyone.
Thank you. Now let me come to you, Mr. Jai Winkin. Give us your take. You've heard all of the panelists, with the exception of Reverend Addy, who just joined us, opinion on this whole drugs issue. But talk to us on it.
Okay, thank you, Derek. It is surprising for someone to say the president is not responsible for what is going on in this country. I don't understand that. The last time I checked, the reason why the Liberian people voted for Weah over the politician was he was going to be a different kind of person. He would have understood the problem of the people. So in this case, under Weah, a lot of activities, a lot of wrong things happen in Liberia. He doesn't care. Guns at the Freeport, drugs at the Freeport, drugs at the RIA, killing of auditors. All happened under Weah. As the other brother just said, I was in Liberia last February. JFK Hospital, they got only one machine for testing eyes, little one that is donated. Everything is broken. Elevator not working. Nothing is working in that place. The government claim they don't have money. This campaign that is going on, all the T-shirt, the red and blue you saw in the airport there, at the Anthony Thomas Stadium, those were purchased by the Weah regime, the Weah supporter. That's the people, that is Liberian people money. I want a redemption. You see rat, you see nothing is, the place is dark. Redemption supposed to be one of the best places because that is a cruel place, most of them for Weah. But go to redemption. This is medication, this is the treatment of people we're talking about. All the children in Nguta and other places, the drugs problem in the country, we are supposed to be feeling the pain of these people, especially in Africa, Liberia. The presidency is powerful. The last time I checked, even though I was very younger, we used to have Boyo basement in Liberia. There are a lot of things that happen. President William Arrow Turbo signed the death warrant of his own brother, who was executed. So what I'm saying, Shirley, is that everything in Liberia is around the president. The president has so many things for things to be right in that country. If you go other side, there's people. If the president say this happening today in Liberia, that happens.
Thank you.
If somebody, yes, that's what I have to say. So the president, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. We are now. Let me take you. I see you as I know you have something to say, Mr. Boda. But let me take Reverend Adi.
But Derek, can I ask my question? Can I ask Bishop Hager my question?
Bishop Hager is not here yet. That's why I didn't come to you. He's not.
Oh,
He's
okay,
not on the screen
okay,
right now. So
Derek.
let me take Reverend Adi real quick. Reverend Adi, can you give us your take on the drugs saga ongoing in Liberia?
It's quite embarrassing for me as a Liberian who loves my country. It's another third round of a public embarrassment with international buffoonery of a nation that is constantly importing drugs. And notice that the importation is often shrouded with some higher ups involvement, from money laundering to the consistent $100 million followed by $40 million. And now here we are again, a drug association around the office of the presidency. I think the dignity of the office is at its lowest ebb, and I'm certainly disappointed that this saga continues to hang over Liberia. Today, when you travel as a citizen, you are being scrutinized as a person of interest because our passports are being sold, money is being laundered, and now we have become a haven of drugs. And who are the victims? The generation that we should be empowering via education. As we who are on this show, we are leaving the stage, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if there are, yeah, ladies or gentlemen, all, we're leaving the stage. We're not young. Many of us who saw the war since 1980, I mean, since the war is almost 30 years later, who are we leaving Liberia to? A generation victimized by drugs, lack of education. This is sad. It's a national security issue. And I'm deeply shocked and yet surprised, frustrated that this government has not acted in ways to prevent the devastation of the very hope our children that's supposed to take Liberia to the next level. And that is why change is highly important. It is important because if it doesn't happen now, that's 6 more years of more degradation with impunity. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi. Let me stay with you with this question, real quick. Let me ask you this question. Or what role do you think our international partners should be playing specifically in this drugs or saga? And do you think they will?
Well, they've already been playing a role, not what role they should be playing. They're already playing a role. And that is why in this public manner, I like to say thanks to America as well as our international partner who got the first $100 million worth of drugs, got another $40 million worth of drugs. And now we have moringa leaves, in fact, methamphetamine that happens to be tested by the United Nations. We already have partners helping to fight for us when our own government has let us down to the devastation of our youth. It is sad. It is very sad. And we are in a critical juncture of our nation's national security. This great country, America, lacks the even struggles to contain drug addiction in this country. That many of us are privileged. Imagine Liberia that doesn't have the infrastructure, the wherewithal medically to address this crisis. Now, government sits there and only to find out the gentleman is being suspended. And Fina Bono, I don't know whether or not she's been called in for questioning or not. Where we are, we have a president who's asking for 20,000 US dollars because he has a layover in France, just transition. So, you know, he needs to go. And it's not that George Weah is a bad man at heart, but you can tell when competence isn't there for such a crucial time as this to changing Liberia's future. It's not a problem. And if I were he, I would certainly step down peacefully and let the those who are able to lead in the person of Joseph Imam Boyka. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi.
Derek.
Go ahead, Mr. Mawul. I'll come to you next with a question about it. Go ahead.
Mr. Boda, I find it difficult to believe that you don't understand the responsibility of a president. What you're saying and complaining that people are putting everything on the president, who appoints these people?
I don't understand.
He does.
He surprises me really.
He does. And if these people don't perform, he has the right to fire them. That's your responsibility. All this crying that the country that not the first time it happened and it used to happen before. I don't want to hear that crap.
And that's why they put him there for.
That's why you became president. Change it. You don't got to tell me about what used to be. I don't care. It was there. You saw it. You said you were capable of changing it. You took it. Change it. Hell. Don't tell me no crap. It used to happen. Then the first time it happened. Who cares?
You can say all we want to say here today. Like I keep saying it, Liberians are responsible for their own demise.
Yeah, they are responsible by voting in.
So if we have a government, that is, you have to show your patriotism to your country. You have to be lawful country, perform your duty that you were sworn for, and let the president rather kill you and sack you and say, yeah,
everybody be the president.
Okay,
everybody be the president. Right?
Let me finish. Nobody's standing for anything. Everybody go say that because the president put me here.
That's poor excuse.
That's an excuse. You excuse the people for not doing their job, but you put the blame on the president.
Because why the president is the head of the house.
Why are you wasting all this money to elect somebody?
Come on.
Why are we wasting all this money to elect somebody?
Why are we putting people
in everything
position?
Millions of dollars
because they are competent. These people are competent that are supposed to perform the duty of their offices.
Who's supposed to determine whether they're competent?
They are competent. You can't tell me all of the Librarians are they don't know anything.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Evidently, they don't know.
I think the problem in Liberia is appointing the people with
because we don't have love for our country. We are selfish. That's why we're going through what we're going through.
That has nothing to do with the president.
Thank you very much, guys.
That's the problem that we're having because we are selfish, we are self-centered.
Gentlemen, you can talk together.
Guys, Mr. Mawolo,
Mr. Mawolo, Derek, if I may just add is 10 seconds. You know that because of the infestation of drugs in our country, the U.S. Embassy is randomly denying people whether or not you've come to America or not before. That's what's happening.
And they're right.
They're denying people.
Getting their arms that got missing now.
Exactly.
We don't know what happened to it.
Thank you, guys. Well, let me
reputable people that were in and out of America. They're denying them.
Let me go to my co-host David. Do you have anything to add? And while you're on that, how do you think this whole drug saga is going to affect the campaign for the current administration in we are bid to be re-elected? But give us if you have anything to add. Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask Reverend. It's a Reverend Adi, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I want to ask Reverend Adi a question before Derek answer your question. Reverend Adi talked about Joseph Boakai being the best alternative. Joseph Boakai doesn't seem to be a solution-oriented person. Since he and his the party walked out of the CPP because of a common conflict that was solvable. Joseph Boakai and his the party walked out of the CP. And that created an impression on many minds that he's not a solution-oriented person. He was a complaint-oriented person because he complained about those little things that were happening in the CPP, and all of a sudden he pulled the United Party out of the CPP for a common problem, a smaller controversy. If he were a problem-solving person, in my view, he would have remained in the CPP and solved that problem. But he told from his action, in the views of many Liberians, he's not a problem-solving person. He's not a solution-oriented person. He's a runaway person. And so how can he be the best alternative? And I've heard many other United Party people boasting that Joseph Boakai will solve all the problems of the Liberian people. He ran away from a minute problem in the CPP.
So before I respond, can you clarify what a minute problem is, a small problem for me?
You know, Reverend.
No, I don't know, because what is small could be relative. So, all right. So if I take your question from a face value, because you've asked it as is, I first of all disagree with the premise. The CPP was a conglomeration of 4 co-equals.
Yeah, you have already disagreed, Reverend. But the fact is that Joseph Boakai shied away from.
Our next conversation will be entirely in the rescue mission camp, so I don't want.
But there, I get dismissing in pursuit like that.
No, I want him to hold the question so he can answer in our next discussion, because we're going to be talking about Unity Party a lot tonight. So you can just keep that question for the next.
Man, I don't like how you be treating your co-host. You gotta get a man to follow a question.
The man will still ask his question in the next discussion. But let me come to you, Bobby Mitchell Crawford. I want you to respond to Mr. Bowden. I mean, everyone here has taken a stab at him, so I want you to respond to that. He's arguing that the president has carried out his constitutional responsibility, appointed somebody for that role. He's arguing that those at the RI, the security apparatus, should be patriotic to carry out their role, and the president played his part. He fired Mr. Freeman, that was responsible for that whole George saga at the airport. So he's arguing that Liberians should be more patriotic to carry out their roles in their appointed positions. How do you respond to Mr. Boda?
Mr. Boda has the right to say and believe what he thinks, but he's factually incorrect. I think I don't want to say it is sad, because he really do believe that. And I think from his explanation, it's almost like it is a Liberian people that are being prosecuted here for not being patriotic, for not standing up. You know, I know that the citizens have the right to petition their government, but at the same time, the government has the right to protect the citizen. It is constitutionally mandated that the government should create greater conditions under which everybody can live and develop their potential, including protecting the citizen from foreign threat, from threat both foreign and domestic. I said earlier on the show that George will abdicate their responsibility to do that. The Reverend articulated clearly since the inception of this George Weah government, all of the different drugs incidents that is associated with this government. And you have agency of government that work at the will and pleasure of the Liberian government of George Weah. It has nothing to do. If there's limited resources that have been provided them, it is on the president. Even they have all of the resources, the president cannot stay. If even they come out with finding, they say, "Well, this is what we found out." It's not going to go nowhere. Look what happened. I'm coming though. Don't interrupt me, Derek, please.
I want to clarify his argument. That's why I'm interrupting you.
No, he was clear. He was clear. He didn't start. I think the component you were trying to factor in has to do with the national legislature having the oversight responsibility, but we know it is rubber stamp. It's not going to go nowhere.
Let's talk about this specifically to this drug saga. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Bowden. I think he's saying to this drug saga, if the security apparatus at the airport was patriotic enough, they wouldn't have allowed that consignment of drugs to enter the country. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's saying that the president did play his role, specifically to this drug situation.
That's exactly what he said. He didn't stutter. And don't give him a chance to editorialize it. We all heard what he said. And that's why I say he's partially incorrect.
I am not going to water down what I said. I'm not watered down what I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you, we Liberians have to be responsible for our role in our government.
Bingo. But then you took up my time by the next give you that amount of time to say things what you stated. I wanted to give him the chance to address what you said when I said was factually incorrect. Again, I would say, my dear brother, you're a victim of historical fallacy, and it's a sad thing.
What is factually incorrect?
What you just alluded to, that we are not exhibiting patriotism because the government, not everything we can blame the government for, we should stand up for ourselves.
I'm saying to you, you don't blame the president for everything when you have a role to play.
But in this particular case here, it is the president's responsibility to make sure that
the president will not be the justice minister, you will not be the chief of police. It's not going to be
Mr. Boda, let me ask Mr. Maolo this question before we leave. We're out of time for this discussion. In line with Mr. Boda's point again. What wrong did the president do specifically in this drug saga?
First wrong by appointing incompetent people in the position. That's why people in those positions not only should be competent, but should be thoroughly vetted. The second wrong, by being quiet, showing no interest in whether or not these crimes are persecuted. He is the president. The whole country, 5 million lives rest in his hand. He can say that you kill you today and they will kill you. He's the only person capable of doing that in our country. And so, because our lives are in his hand, he has the responsibility to be concerned about everything that happened. It's not the first time. It's not the second time. They brought a bunch of arms the other day. Have you heard about it lately? They were even accusing the opposition of bringing arms to kill them. Have you heard about it lately? Then the first it was the 40 million, then 100 million, and now the Moranga tea. And every time those things happen, it was a foreign government that was tipping off, and it's always linked to people close to him.
Yeah.
Is he interested? Mm-hmm. Is he a part of it?
Right.
Is he a part of it?
Thank you.
Derek,
we are out of time for this discussion.
I mean, you accusing Finabono and Finabono on the plane with him right now, going to the United Nations.
Derek, I'd like to ask your uncle a question now. Your
Bishop
uncle
Hagar.
a question.
Bishop Hagar.
Okay. No, Mawulu. I asked he got my question earlier, but he said, we'll get to the, I want to ask Mr. Mawulu a question. Mr. Mawulu did say that people who've been appointed by the president are not properly vetted. And most of those who've been appointed by the president, as far as I do know, are recommended by other Liberians that Mr. President is there that can better serve as information minister of your government. Then these nominees are sent to the legislature, which that is members of the legislature who have the responsibility to vet these people. Are you suggesting that members of our legislature are rubber stamp and they can't properly vet these people who have been appointed by or who were appointed by President Weah? Is that what you suggesting?
Suggesting would be a kind word. I'm not suggesting. I'm telling you, they don't work for them. All of them. They need to be voted out. That's what I said.
Thank you, guys. We are 1 minute over time for this. So again, if you're watching us, this is the Hard Zone here, and you're on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. Guys, thank you all for your contribution on this segment. We will now take a very brief break. When we come back, we will get right into the rescue train as they look forward to officially launching the campaign on the 17th of this month. Let's take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll talk more on that.
Hey there. Many Liberians are members of social clubs, 501c NGOs, and school alumni. Many Liberians are trying to open their own 501c NGOs, home care agencies, and social clubs. Does your organization have a professional website? Does your web platform have the right wording and content to attract grants? Hopefully you're not running your organization only through social media. There's a more professional route. You need an online space where you can craft a positive message about your organization, making your home health agency more credible, which will increase your chances to receive grants. We'll build you a responsive platform for 501c organizations, healthcare agencies, and other types of organizations. We'll provide you with full website maintenance, membership sign-in, private charts, Facebook and WhatsApp integration, live video feed for all your meetings and special occasions, a dashboard for members to see all the activities, and email and text auto reminders for meetings. We'll build with donors and 501c in mind, and will help you solicit grants and automatic membership due collections. Building you this amazing platform will only be a membership fee of $19 a month. Call or email us now. Let's upgrade your website. Home health agencies and small businesses, you owe it to your company to project the best image possible, and we can make it happen. Visit www.tiamit.com or call 215-966-8679. Ask for Tommy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. You're back on the Liberia Radio and Television Network, presenting to you episode 2 and 4 of the Horizon. And here on the Horizon, we feature a team of panelists from different political ideologies, political institutions, and political persuasions. And on this next segment of our show tonight, we will, before we get into it, we'll ask you to please share the program on your social media page on Facebook, and please make sure to follow the network. Encourage your friends and family to do the same as well. Now, guys, 25 more days to October 10th, when Liberian will be deciding on who takes the head of who leads the country in the next 6 years. But on the 17th of this month, the rescue train former Vice President Jose Yemambuaka and current standard bearer of the Unity Party will officially launch his campaign. So we will have our panelists then give you that take. What are their expectations? What are we looking to see? Are we going to see more numbers than what the CDC put outside? Is it going to be like the finishing touches for the elections come October 10th? So let's bring this to our panelists. Let it give you their opinion. So we're waiting to hear what they have to say. Let me begin with you, Mr. Ja Winkin. Talk to us. Unity Party.
So, Jared, after you would have come to me to paint a picture of what is happening now before the panelists coming.
That's what is literally that's what I'm supposed to do. So, Mr. Ja Winkin, I'm sorry, forgive me. So let's take our co-host from Liberia, Mr. David Tagway.
So, Derek, to be very frank with you, the momentum is high. The Unity Party is launched on Sunday. The signs across Monrovia, particularly because I'm not in other parts of the country. But what I'm saying in Monrovia is that the enthusiasm is high. In fact, as I speak to you, white t-shirts have become scarce in Liberia, in Monrovia now. The scarcity of white t-shirts, round neck t-shirts, is an issue that people are talking about. That means all t-shirts that were on the market have been bought by people of the Unity Party. And so the issue of t-shirts on the market is a matter of scarcity now. So that is suggesting that the Unity Party on Sunday will put up a very huge crowd that I cannot definitively say that will be bigger than the CDC until we see it. But from all indications, the momentum is high, the enthusiasm is very high. And that shows that many Liberians who are supportive of Joseph Boakai and the rescue team will turn out on Sunday. But until they can turn out, I cannot make a determination that the crowd that the Unity Party will put out will be bigger than that of the CDC. But t-shirts are scarce as I speak to you on the local market.
Thank you.
How you know it was bought by Unity Party?
Say that?
I didn't know the t-shirt were bought by Unity Partisans.
Yeah, okay. It's a very good question because there's an announcement. Yeah, it's a very good question because the Unity partisans are buying their t-shirts, taking it to all printing houses in the party headquarters.
I'm just looking at the
You get
facial
it from
reaction.
Bible. Tell the man you the
But I say have a question with Reverend Pega.
Say you think. Don't say Unity Party. Say you think.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Talkway. I was just reading everybody's facial expression when you were talking
And
about Unity Party campaign.
I noticed that because
Unity Party people here just smiling, and when you
why the other people are frowning?
Yeah, when you talk about the momentum, the enthusiasm, I know. You know what? Let me just come to you,
Bobby, I'm talking from a journalistic point of view, not a political point of view.
Thank you, brother.
When you say they have bought all the t-shirts and you got no facts to that.
From all. Mr.
Be careful around Maolo, man. Maolo.
All right, okay, guys.
I know my brother Jawin Ken, my brother Bobby, they are all feeling uncomfortable now.
Derek.
You're breaking up, Bobby. I can't hear you.
What? Our launch is on Sunday and you're not talking
I don't know
about
if you're on mute.
Bobby,
you know what?
Bobby,
let me tell Mr. We are real quick.
The wing head, Bobby. That one you can try again. The wing head,
Bobby. Okay,
no, I see myself on mute.
Okay,
why would you be no? Because now you're smart. Because when you had an exchange with the Reverend, you are kind of icky a little bit. It may give me a journalistic perspective. I did mass communication in high school. I know how it rolls. So I'm not icky about that. People can that's what journalists do, you know. They give an objective analysis. That's what he see. It's not indicative of that they're going to win the election. I'm not speaking about crowd politics. There are 900,000 voters in most Morado County. If you can put 100,000,
this show has been directed by Derek. Derek, please direct the show and let Bobby, let the ANC, let him just say one time, want to address the issue.
What's interesting is
now I was giving a little connotation here because I came. It's not a rebuttal. I just said something. I'm not directing the show. Everybody
trying to take our time. We need to talk about the rescue team. We need to talk about the rescue team.
But now all of a sudden, you don't want to talk before I said something.
Let's go to the rescue team. Let's go to the rescue train. Let's go to the rescue.
I put fire in the conversation, right? As Bobby has always said. I put fire.
It's funny though. The Reverend been mute all along, but you see me talk, all of a sudden they want to say something. I can't wait for October 10, man. Let this saga be over.
Mr. Weir,
yes, okay, so okay, Bobby,
here's what I can say. Look, guys, I'm hearing the feedback.
As I look at Liberia, right? The problem we have in that country.
There's a feedback in it. There's a feedback from somewhere. One of you guys need to check your gadgets. There's a feedback.
Who? Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay now.
Okay, as I said, the problem we have in our country is corruption, rule of law, which President Weir failed to give the Liberian people. The former Vice President Boakai, I do not have anything personal against him, but my question is, or my doubt about him is that I don't know whether he's capable of really giving the Liberian people rule of law and dealing with the corruption that is killing Liberian people, that is taking away the ability of young Liberians to realize their God-given potentials. And I see all those that behind Boakai, other people say they do that for numbers. I listened to Vice President Boakai, but personally, I'm not convinced. Even though I do not support him, but the reason why I don't support him, I haven't seen any commitment on his part that he will be different from the league government or we are government. The same people who were in Salif government, the same people who left all the political parties, they are the one with the vice president. So launching the campaign is a good thing, but I want for the Liberian people to look critically, to think about their future. They should not vote for somebody because there's a crowd behind the person or because they hate certain thing, but should think about their own future. We are talking about your future. Liberians, do not vote for anyone because you are told or because your relatives are voting, but think about your future. So I hope on the launching of the vice president, renewed effort to become president of Liberia. He was part of it last time. He failed. He had been serving in government for a long time. I think it is because of the failures of WIA, people think he could do better. But my personal doubt about Boaka is I do not think he's capable to deal with the corruption that is killing the future of Liberians, that is killing the children every day, that is taking the pride of girls who selling themselves for school fees. It is because of corruption. So I hope
Go ahead.
He does better. I hope to listen, to hear what Boakai will do about people who are in the street. I hope to hear about what Boakai will do about rule of law, whether people will not be above the law. And that is my doubt about the VP presidency. Thank you.
So Derek, this is what I want Reverend Pega to come in to answer my question. Because similar to my question, Jawan Kenwea has similar concerns about my question. Reverend Pega and others from the Unity Party are suggesting that Joseph Boakai would be a better alternative. And this, I repeat that Joseph Boakai, who the Unity Party people, including Reverend Pega, claim would be the best alternative, ran from the CPP. He ran the Unity Party out of the CPP because of a problem that could be solved, a problem that was solvable. Why Joseph Boakai couldn't solve that problem? He and Unity Party couldn't solve that problem and flew. Let me use the word flew as a matter of exaggeration. Flew out of the Unity Party, flew out of the CPP because he ran away from the problem that could be solved. So that means that he's not a solution-oriented person. So what makes him the best alternative for Liberia, and not Cummins, and not George Weah, or not Tiawon Gonglo? Let me call Tiawon Gonglo so my man Jawan Kenwea can feel a little bit comfortable. Or how they call her, the lady. Yeah. So Reverend Pega, go ahead with my
yes,
question.
Reverend Hicka, please answer that question, and also I know you want to talk about campaign launch, but go ahead.
Thank you very much, David. We are talking about September the 17th, Sunday, that Joseph Boakai, His Excellency, the former Vice President, the Senate bearer of the Unity Party, the only man in Liberia that had the ability to defeat that corrupt government of George Weah, will be officially launching his campaign to show to the Liberian people that he's very ready. A lot of speculations been going around in different quarters that he's not healthy. He had defied all of your misconception about him. Listen to me. There was an article published in Daily Observer recently and front page carry to highlight 40 years of dedication, 40 years of patriotism, 40 years of a man that came from nowhere and rise to the level of excellence.
Nobody going to say here tonight that if you become president like Liberia, you solve all the problem. We are, Jagan, you are in a utopic understanding of things. We're not saying we're going to solve all the problem. But when we look at who has the competence, who have the ingenuity, who understand how to take Liberia from where Liberia is right now. I would not address the issue of the CPP. The CPP issue is beyond us. We saw that arrangement and we felt that it was not convenient for us and we left. Doesn't mean we ran away from problem. It doesn't mean we ran away from problem. Joseph Boakai have always solved problem. Let me let you know.
Give an
so
example.
What we are talking about tonight, and I want all Liberians, as I spoke to all those that connected with me, this is Bishop Hager, you know me. I've called upon every one of you on Sunday morning. We are closing our churches, 1 hour service. Everybody line up, go on the place that we are gathering. This is a crucial time for Liberia, a crucial time for our generation. We are tired of sending all our resources to pay school fees. We are tired of paying hospital bills. The man that has the connections in terms of how the international monetary operate, the man that can attract investment to Liberia, the man that can make that nation to go forward is Joseph Boakai. So I call upon you, you that will be listening to me, you better come on Sunday. Let's show to the world one time victory,
Derek, you need to pursue your question. What major problem has Joseph Boakai solved for the 12 years he stayed in power as Vice President of Madam Sally? This is a man who can travel to his own country because of bad road. So Derek is asking you, what example, what major problem has Joseph Boakai ever solved to making a better president?
Bishop Hager. Let me answer David.
No, I will extend the question.
No, Derek wants to extend the question.
Hold on, David.
Yeah.
From Banga to Foya or to Vanjima, 280-kilometer road will cost you almost $500 million. Do you expect Joseph Boakai to pay $500 million to fix that road?
That was not the question, Bishop.
No, the question is the man said that Joseph Boakai, the road to Lofa was not fixed because he come from Lofa. Is that what you saying?
I was the one that asked the question.
That Derek was asking the question. I want you to pursue the question I asked you.
Bishop Hager, in your response to David Tyker's question, you said that Boakai do not run away from problems. Instead, he solves problems. My question to that is, give us an example of when Boakai solved one problem. Not just
why couldn't he solve the problem in the CPP?
In his over 40 years in public service, give an example of what he identified a problem and solved it. That's what I'm asking you.
Well, should I answer that?
I will come to you, Reverend Adi.
I'm going to quote Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who said recently that Joseph Boakai was a best collaborator, and he helped us in so many ways solving problems of Liberia.
I haven't identified a specific problem.
Listen, we're not going to be talking individually. The man developed policy, crafted policy. He helped.
I
asked for an example. One major problem. Identify
the
problem.
You have to be specific, sir. You be specific as to which major problem. That's what Derek is asking. Can you cite an example, common example?
Okay, I'm not going to in terms of individual.
We'll come back to you, Bishop Hager. I don't want to spend the entire show on you tonight.
To rescue him.
Let's go.
You know what? Are you asking me as an individual, or you asking in terms of policy? He made a solve Liberia problem.
Bishop Hager, I will come back to you with this question. I don't want. We are on the rescue train. Right? Let's go to Reverend Adi so he can rescue you. Reverend Adi. Bishop Hager, we will come back to you. We will come back to you,
David. You talk about individual problem. Joseph Boakai served as deacon for his church for over 40 years. Go to the church and ask him what he been doing at church. You know about Joseph Boyka? You know that man? He's a dedicated, committed man. You don't know people that just come.
Don't go to personality.
You don't know anything about Joseph Boyka. He's a very hard-working, decent,
and where you know him from? Where you know him from?
Bishop Hagan. Let's take. I was going to come to Mr. Mao, but let me take Reverend Adi right now. Reverend Adi, talk to us about your campaign. If you have anything to respond to, you can definitely do that.
So, well, certainly, I just want to encourage and restore the hope of Mr. Jawin Kenwea, because he said that Joseph Boyka doesn't seem to be a man who will address the issue of corruption in Liberia. But we've put forth a vision, Mr. Weah, a vision that has to do with corruption in a comprehensive manner, as espoused in one of the 6 pillars. Actually, it's pillar number 6 of our platform. And what we clearly, when it comes to anti-corruption, we intend to implement a comprehensive background checks on all government officials, strengthen our anti-corruption institutions that were destroyed by this government. We intend to ensure transparency and accountability in our government, digitizing government services as far as taxes are concerned. We have a zero tolerance for policies around corruption, and we intend to promote ethical leadership. And finally, when you look at our vision, we also intend to recover stolen assets by this current government and past officials through the cooperation with international partners to make a difference. So rest assured, our vision is clear around dealing and laid out when it comes to corruption and so forth and so on. So let's come to the issue of specifically what has Joseph Boyka done, which problem. So when you look at the 70s, Liberia and several other African countries were dealing with food insecurity. So through the PL 480 that was often sponsored by the United States government, we saw that sales of rice was used to subsidize our national budget. And quite frankly, when you look at what Mr. Boyka did between 1973 to 1982, you would see that because of that food insecurity under his administration or leadership, Liberia Lufa was the breadbasket. And what happened was that he increased the acreage of farm products, rice specifically, from 2,500 to 5,000. It was even projected that by 1975, Liberia would have reduced the rice importation by 38%. He's a problem solver. It was so much so important that the late William R. Talbot, president, in his 1974 SONA speech, State of the Nation address, thanked Mr. Joseph Boyka for his contribution to our national coffers based on agriculture. Fast forward to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in 2008. The then United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization Director Jacques Diouf awarded Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf the award called Seremidal. What that award was the fact that Liberia had come out of war and her robust investment in agriculture was noteworthy, in that Joseph Boyka, through his visionary advice and that of Dr. Florence Chenoweth, Eat What You Grow policy was able to be recognized and awarded that medal of honor because of our involvement. So we have a leader who is tried, true, and tested, and born from Mr. Alexander Cummings, ladies and gentlemen, that listen, the past performance is the best for future performance. Past performance indicators are best for future performance. And when you look at the legacy of the Honorable Joseph Boyka, in which when he was leading Liberia and even the agriculture ministry, where Liberia developed several cooperatives from Lofa to Banga to Nimba, so much so that the West African nations, 15 of them came together and said, we love what Liberia is doing. Let's organize ourselves into what you call the West African Development Association, WADA. Do you know who the first president was? Joseph Boyka.
Thank you.
A problem solver.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Reverend Adi. Let me come now to you. First of all, let me welcome Lord Choppy Charlie. Thank you for joining us tonight on episode 2, season 4 of the Hard Zone. I'll come to you, but let me first take Mr. J. Mawolo. Give us a take on the whole Unity Party, the Rescue Train official campaign launch.
The first thing is, it's sad that we're discussing Unity Party Sunday when today the CPP had an overwhelming lunging in Kakata. I hope we go there. Look, can you give me a minute? Let me deal with Reverend Addy, because it seems like he is totally confused about the information they gave him because he's talking about something he knows nothing about. Addy, do you even know what LPMC did in Liberia? Do you know what their job was in Liberia?
Go
I need
ahead.
an answer from you, Addy. Do you know what LPMC job was in Liberia?
Just go ahead. He has a rebuttal.
What?
The
Listen,
question is, I mean, with all due respect, the fact that you premised your question like that is quite insulting. But I would prefer that you proceed.
no, okay. I'm sorry if it's insulting to you, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you speaking of something you got absolutely no idea about. You're talking about apple and oranges. LPMC was a marketing company. It had nothing to do with agriculture. It was a marketing business. Farmers were selling their products to the Liberian government through the LPMC. The Liberian government was finding markets for it. That's all Joseph Walker was doing. He was sitting in Wanyama receiving goods from farmers and shipping them to Monrovia. To come here and sit down and talk about how he expanded farming and all that kind of, that's fallacy. It didn't happen. And I'm not speaking of something somebody told me I know. You understand? So you need to cool down on this.
Mr. Mauro.
Absolutely nothing. Completely nothing. Because he himself cannot point to anything. Let me tell you, if that a road in Lofa were ever going to be built, it was going to be built the moment Ellen Johnson Sirleaf afforded him the opportunity to head the Independence Day program in Lofa. And even at that, he couldn't perform. And I don't blame Ellen Johnson Sirleaf for not supporting him. This man, even the building that woman was living in, it was not ready when she got there. So he showed his incompetence at that point. So you stop finding all these things. This man has done nothing. He can't point to anything. He's not going to do anything. It's all fallacy. Even worse, now he has attached Prince Johnson and his stooge to his team. Do we know the danger that causes for Liberia? To have Prince Johnson close to the presidency? Are we even thinking of that? Or we so much want to win, we forget about the important thing of protecting our own country. Boda, you were talking about Liberians should be patriotic. Is that patriotism to get a man like Prince Johnson close to the presidency? Is that patriotism?
Thank you very much, Mr. Maula.
Ourselves.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Maula. And
guys, can I have 30 seconds response, please?
I will give you 30 seconds. I'll be sure to remember that. Listen, guys, listen. I will keep my eye on the clock. We have a lot of people on the panel tonight, so if you can try to keep your response under a minute, 30 seconds, I will appreciate that. But after that, I will interrupt you. So now let me come to. Let me give you 30 seconds for 30 seconds, and I'm keeping my eye on the clock. Go ahead.
Right. So thank you kindly. Certainly when people don't have a great response, the first thing they come with, you don't know. But may I reference you to Chief Cyril Allen, who personally shared with me about Joseph Boyka's accomplishment. So if you're using age as an experience to denigrate the information, the facts, the truth will rise. When you speak to Chief Cyril Allen, who happens perhaps to be in your age crowd, please protect me. Please protect me. Please protect me. Please protect me. Mr. Mawalo. Please protect me, please. Let's make this civil. You see, when you speak to people like Chief Cyril Allen, who's publicly testified that it was through Joseph Yuma Boyka today that he was able to get in the insurance business for being able to bring insurance to farmers. So, you know, you cannot use age to subjugate the reality or facts concerning his accomplishments. So certainly, if you do not have anything to say about your task-oriented candidate, then it is only fair that you do not pretend to actually know all the information about Liberia, because the fact remains that age has nothing to do with the wisdom of Solomon. The truth will rise when pushed around.
Reverend Addy.
Well, that's all you have to say.
Reverend Addy and Mr. Mawolo, thank you guys very much. We'll have to move on to the next panelist. Let's take you, Bloody Choppy Charlie. Welcome back to the Hard Zone. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yeah, but we're not
Yes,
seeing
Yes.
you
your
are.
head.
But
You
we can
gotta
see
come
you
down a
good.
little
We
bit.
can't see your head, my brother.
Bring your head down, Capi Charlie.
All right,
There
now
you
you're
go.
good.
Yeah, okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, fine. Once again, it's good to be back. I've been out in these rural parts right now. I'm deep in the Lofa County right now. So,
Where was
but
Joseph
but
Blanca?
interestingly, yeah, interestingly, I'm hearing a lot of contradictions, and it's very not shocking though, but the viewpoints coming in from the Unity Party supporters or Joseph Braga surrogates is instructive about the kind of leadership that Joseph Braga intends to offer to Liberia. Dishonesty, lack of integrity, and no innovation for development. Let's go to some of the points I've listened to right now. We've heard about Chief Siri Allen, celebrating Joseph Boakai. I mean, how outrageous that kind of statement can sound when Chief Siri Allen is currently campaigning against Joseph Boakai. Chief Siri Allen is right now campaigning in Margibi County and is telling the Liberian people that Joseph Boakai should never ever come close to the Liberian presidency because
Who is he
he
campaigning
doesn't
for?
have the skill sets necessary to lead Liberia. So if anybody want to use Chief Siri Ali as a reference point for Joseph Braga, then that's a joke. Let's get a Joseph Braga record about PL 480. I heard about PL 480 rice. The PL 480 rice was audited in 1985. The audit report is up by the UC. That report condemns Joseph Braga, characterizing as a criminal who stole the money from the PL 480 rice and also during his tenure at Agriculture Ministry. So the LPMC, the rice was given to Liberia in 1980, in August of 1980.
He
That
said,
rice was 65,
what the audit report
Let
is.
Bishop Hagar, let's
$65
protect
million. dollars.
Bishop
PL
Hagar.
480.
That's why the audit, because the man will not come in, just be saying things that
Listen,
make
Bring
listen,
sense.
bring
listen.
your
65,
Reverend
audit.
Hagar, please. Reverend Hagar, please. He is
Bishop,
protected.
Bro,
He is
just
bring your
protected.
audit.
can you lower down a little bit so we can see your
65,
head?
$65 million was given in rice to Liberia. The way the program works was that the LPRNC was supposed to market that rice, sell the rice, and the proceeds would be given to the Liberian government to invest in agriculture. And so what happened was that Joseph Braga took the money and diverted the funds. He gave some of the money to government officials. He created different government accounts. The money did not go into the regular government account. This is the reason why Joseph Braga got dismissed in 1985 by Samuel Doe. Once that report came up in 1985, he was dismissed for corrupt practices. His record is not clean. That audit report was done by the USAID, United States Agency for International Development. It was not done by the Liberian government in 1985. So, but interestingly, as we listen to all this shameful display of Joseph Braga's so-called leadership, it begs a serious question, and especially referencing Ellen Johnson's early period. These people on the Unity Party and Joseph Braga himself had claimed that as vice president, he had no authority to do anything. He did not do anything, but now, after being exposed over a long period of time, today, the same folks who said Joseph Braga as a vice president has no authority, he did not do anything because he was a vice president, are claiming today that Joseph Braga as a vice president did agriculture program, did this, that, he conquered this. These are myths. We know for a
Thank you.
fact, we know for just about close, we know for a fact that
Yeah,
right now in Lofa County, the agriculture tools on the Ellen Johnson study for the Living Rights Project is laying waste in Joseph Braga village in Foya. The youth empowerment $75 million, he squandered that. So it's a joke for anybody to claim that Joseph Braga has any leadership credentials that can move Liberia to the next phase of
Thank you.
in his modern time.
Thank you very much, Blue J Choppy Channel. Let me quickly take you, the Lord Mayor of Benton, Bobby Mitchell Crawford. Give us a take on this rescue train official campaign launch. You're muted.
You mute me every time I unmute.
I'm not controlling anything, Bobby. I think you're still muted, Bobby. Try hitting it. Try hitting
Bobby,
the mute
you
button.
hit it so you mute yourself.
I think you're hitting it too fast. You're probably hitting it twice, thinking you're hitting the one.
No, I just unmute myself and then I will get muted. But anyway, at this point in time, that reminds me of what Donald Trump said. I can go in the middle of town square and shoot somebody, but people will still vote for me. You know what the Reverend and the Bishop articulate here day and night on this show, right? I wish the Vice President had that ability to do the same. His surrogate explained his vision more than himself. He had an opportunity several times. He goes to the radio station. You see a barrage of people behind him. He can't even give a cohesive statement about his arrest. So whatever mission he has for Liberia. But that besides the point. At that point in time, right? People that want to vote for Joseph Boakai, like they said, you now will vote for you. We are Sanama's one for Joseph Boakai. So we are past that stage. It's kind of funny though how the bishop talk about Ellen said good things about Joseph Boakai, but unlike Mr. Boakai, he had 99 grudges against her. So you can't have it both ways. Yeah, 1 second you're calling the woman a demon, another second you're trying to claim her credit, but that besides the point. Why one of the key in on here has to do with the fact that, you know, all the name calling, I heard the Reverend telling McKinney, calling Mr. Cummings, they're kind of snuck it in there, desperate oriented. Is that being desperate to aspire to greatness, not to settle? David, you articulated it well. They had a small situation in the CCP that had to do with fingering, and Mr. Cummings was declared innocent. Joseph Boakai never solved that problem. I saw a comment from one of Joseph Boakai's supporters on our live feed that has to do with, Cummings was CCP chairperson, why he didn't solve the problem. No, during his chairmanship at CCP, in fact, that's when we saw Darius Dillon, a scores of senators and representatives being elected. He held the CCP together. When Joseph Boakai came, a problem came out in the CCP. He left, in fact, and went to court and testified against a fellow member of the CCP because he wanted a coronation. He's not a problem solver. I can say that. Any other person can say that, but it's not going to change the bishop's mind. He will hear and pontificate and say all kinds of things. People going to go to church on Sunday to worship and go home to eat their food. Most of other countries have 900,000 registered voters. If he can pull 50,000 at ATS, it's not an indication that he's going to win this election. We are strategic. We are strategic in our approach. There are more people in their respective homes than people that are on the streets. There are more silent voters in Liberia than those that are making the loud noise on these blue apps.
You get it right, on that one.
I'm not so. You're going to see all the pundits. This one, look at the crowd, the Zoom picture and this and that. That's why you need to back the dust. Propaganda that era. Come October 10th, we're going to settle this once and for all. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you mute your device, Bobby? I think I'm getting a feedback. Thank you very much, Bobby.
You talk about crowd, your full crowd, the stadium was packed. Then why you're afraid for us to come out in the street on Sunday? You're talking about people. You will see on Sunday what's going to happen in Monrovia. And you want to talk about numbers? We'll show you numbers.
Yeah, but y'all be having number in the bank. I was there 400,000. You forget? ATS.
You got something to say? Go ahead, Bloody. Oh, actually, let's take Mr. Boda. Bloody, I apologize. Let's Mr. Boda been quiet for a while. Mr. Boda, let me take you a minute 30 seconds. We're running out of time.
All the people that will be there on Sunday not taking cushion. They're not taking no draw. They are clean people.
You hope.
Bloody, just in case you didn't get it, that was for you. But just in case you didn't get it, Bloody, that was for you. But let's go ahead, Mr. Boda. Mr. Boda, go ahead. You're muted.
Boda frozen?
All right.
Boda,
sorry. One thing I can say here today is that, look, the Liberia people have already resolved what they want to do. And what's funny to me is you're going to see every crowd, the same people.
Exactly.
So the Liberian politics, people are now voting on the basis of ideologies. they're voting on their emotions.
Yeah, quite correct.
And so with the situation in Liberia, there are vengeance in Liberia right now. The people are feeling what's going on in the country, the hardship, what they're going through. So they're going to express that to the CDC. And what I can say we Liberia today is that we should be mindful because we need to resolve our crisis. Like I was saying, we need patriotism in Liberia. We need to be loyal to our country, love for country. That is the more important thing. Because all of us sitting here tonight, we all will be going to Liberia, we'll have some position, we may not. We will be left with a responsibility to lead our country. And we will see similar things that are happening within the CDC-led government. The very people in CDC who are behind Ellen government, you can see all the young boys were chanting corruption. They have all the ideas, the brilliant ideas that they can share. 12 of them today were champion of everything that you can think about. All these guys today that we see around. So I'm not moved by all of these, whatever. LeBron already resolved to do what they're going to do on the 10th. You got two contenders in the election. You got Boaga, you have Boaga come in, or you got Opon retaining a position. It's not that the other candidate is not doing well.
You get it wrong, man, boy.
So what is your best guess?
I'm not going to guess. LeBron will guess.
Yeah. Let me guess for you.
Let me take
victory for Joseph.
Let me
let me finish my point here. The point I'm making here is
10 seconds, man, Mr. Boda. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me push back.
How you
hold on, gentlemen, hold on. And Blue just spoke already, and went to Mr. Broda and everybody else.
He has a rebuttal. That's why I'm coming to him. He said he has
I had a rebuttal.
On me?
Oh, okay.
But I haven't finished yet. So the point I'm making here,
it was not just you.
They say some of them are looking older than Boaga.
You guys are
I saw that, Bobby. I saw that.
I think they're referring to the bishop.
Bobby, can you mute the device? I think we're getting a feedback from you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're getting some feedback.
Bobby, right at the step tonight.
Yeah, but let me give you 10 seconds. Let me give you 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
So what my point I'm making to you is you and I here think differently, and we see different society. Our perspective about what things is not what the point Labrador think of.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Loaded Choppy Charlie before you gave your rebuttal. Can you respond to Bishop Hagar? He said he's very certain that United Party going to give a one-round victory. Can you quickly respond to that and give your rebuttal?
I think it's a jungle mentality for anybody to suggest that United Party is going to win any elections, not even first round. We have about 2.2 million plus. There's a 2 million plus voters in the country.
Win, Blue Jay? Is it CDC?
Yeah, you interrupting. I'll get there. The last elections, we have similar number of people almost registering for the elections, and you had about more than 1 million people deciding the elections. So you have almost 1 million people that did not participate in the last elections. So one has to be very careful. We are convinced that the CDC is going to win these elections, but we are not ignorant of the fact that other political parties are making a major inroad. And I would not be surprised if the Unity Party did not even go. If worst case scenario, there was a second round, the Unity Party is left out of the second round. We've seen the performance of the ANC on the ground. Their organization very silent. It seems too late, but at least we've seen a kind of ground game that the ANC is playing, and we are very aware of those the ground game the ANC is playing in the CDC. But we are still strong and confident of our first round victory. So the idea that the Unity Party, who is making a lot of false promises and win this election, is a myth. And to suggest that the Liberian people is going to be voting on emotions is insane. Look, let's look at the Unity Party. This argument that people are suffering in Liberia, people are poor. Was everybody who is supporting the Unity Party or voted the Unity Party working during the government of Joseph Boaga Unity Party, the 12 years rule? You have 300,000 people that voted for the Unity Party. Were those 300,000 plus people working in Liberia? Did they have a job? Did they have a home? No, just about maybe less than 25,000 of those people were working in the country. So this raw intellectual insanity that is being spewed out by Unity Party that they can do better is false. Take for example, electric city in the country. During the whole 12-year rule of Unity Party, we have less than 225,000, about less than 300,000 people connected to electricity. Now we have about 900,000 present new customer that has been connected to electricity on the CDC 6-year term.
That they didn't include David because David is not in the dark.
Well, we're still a contract. Now, quickly. During the Unity Party, the highest pay for a public university instructor who had a master's degree level was paid $1,100. During the CDC 6 years, less than 6 years, that same person is being paid $2,000. During the Unity Party 12-year rule, the highest pay for a doctor in the country was around $700, and mostly came from international donors. Today, under the CDC, a doctor, a professional doctor, is being paid more than $2,000. So we see the difference, improvement in value. The pay is being judged. You have all that support and you were fleecing the state.
No water in the country, bro.
Thank you, Bloje. Let's stay on the rescue train.
So, Bloje, Derek, can I ask Bloje a question? I asked his colleague, is it Khalifa, who was on the show the last time from the CDC?
Sherry, Mr. Sherry.
Mr. Sherry was on the show the last time from the end of the CDC. I'd like to ask Bloje the same question. In 2017, when the CDC or George Weah was a hot cake, when people were spending their own monies, people were selling their properties wanted to support the CDC and George Weah in 2017. The CDC did not win first round. Will how possible it is for the CDC to win the first round at a time the CDC name is associated with corruption, mysterious killings, and drugs? Is it now possible where the CDC has exposed its weaknesses? Where President Weah has exposed his weaknesses? Is it the time that he will win the first round, as you're suggesting?
Look, the first thing, take for example, the situation with Kush or the drugs situation in the country. Liberian people are very conscious, and we trust the genius of the Liberian people thinking. They know very well that Joseph Braga is a contributor to the drug program in Liberia. Joseph Braga has a ghetto right by his house that is co-owned, presumably co-owned by he and his son. And that ghetto and prostitution ring. Listen, that ghetto and prostitution ring has been running in Liberia more than 6 years before George Weah became president, and Liberian people is aware of that thing. So Liberian people can make a decision. They are capable to determine that, look, the drug problem in Liberia is not a problem that George Weah brought to the country. The name Zoko came during the regime of Joseph Braga Unity Party rule. That name came on during that period. It's not a new name to Liberia. So only those who are living in La La Land, in utopia, will blame the George Weah. But the Unity Party will understand the propaganda. So take for example another issue, the question of students going to school, the WISE, very important. Parents used to struggle for to pay student WISE fee. Today, Liberian students are passing the WISE exam every year, as opposed to Joseph Braga 12 years rule when the people were failing every year. So ordinary people can understand this difference, and that's why George Weah, based on our political strategy, is going to win these elections in the first round.
Thank you very much.
Can I upload your question?
No, we have exhausted the time for this
okay.
segment. Whatever you have left. I was going to come to. I'm coming to you live before I take a break. That's
okay.
So I know you had a rebuttal. We've exhausted all of the time except that we have to give you a minute and 30 seconds. Reverend
No
Adi,
problem.
so
No problem.
Go right ahead. I knew you was going to say something if I close this show out.
Thank you, guys, listener. So right. So if you listen to the surrogate for the Congress of Drugs and Corruption Party, okay, the Congress for Drugs and Corruption Party, you will clearly see that he has not the ability to self off his candidate because the difference is clear. So he comes up with the Congress for Deception to be able to spill out misinformation to the people of Liberia. But the fact remains, Mr. Blowjay, there were 2 audits conducted, primarily by the West African auditor, John Compitella of USAID. And he reported the program did very well between 1973 to 1982. Make no mistake, what also authenticated, please protect me, Derry. They're fighting again.
Let's protect Reverend Adi and Mr. Maolo.
Thank you kindly. And then what happened when you look at the somber letter of John Compitella of West Africa, the USAID Controller General at the time, reported what happened to those finances. And then when the 17 auditors went to Liberia, Blowjay, from the US Congress, you will see pages 38 to 48, where they even told John Compitella that what was reported in your report concerning monies that were giving out to vendors that were not accounted for, they should be accounted for in their report. So, the facts cannot be twisted. The Liberian people understand that the difference is clear. We have a president of incompetence and youthfulness as his only vision. And that is why you guys recognize your unpopularity. So you have gone now to the ATS that takes 10,000 people as opposed to the SKD that takes 22,000 people. You certainly realize that the difference is clear. Everything that we've built, such as the anti-corruption institution, you have demolished. You harmonize the people's pay. They are making lesser than they used to make under the administration of Madam Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf and Joseph Boyka. The infestation and proliferation of drugs in the country happened under your administration. The poor health care, the poor education. When you look at the quality of teachers in the country today, under this president, it is a very big shame. In fact, the budget of the president's wife is more than the budget of the MCSS school in Monrovia. She has $2 million. $2 million more than the MCSS schools in Liberia. So we understand that Mr. Weah is unable to lead this country by virtue of his incompetence, rampant corruption, the extrajudicial killings, the deaths of auditors. It is clear that he needs to step down to save face.
You'll be using the same ATS on Sunday. Reverend Pega, you'll be using you'll be using the same ATS on Sunday. So why make that an issue with the CDC for using the ATS?
Derek, am I being protected?
I want for us to continue protecting.
You've been talking long.
Yeah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Listen, guys, I listen to you all the time. The facts are heavy. So let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. They have not been able to go to the SKD complex, and they are saying that that is under renovation, and therefore denied us the privilege to use that. We certainly like to use it, but the government state that quote unquote is undergoing renovation simply because the president sees now that his popularity has decreased, and so therefore he cannot go to the SKD. He goes to a 10,000 capacity stadium. But we understand that trick because the fact remains that his collaboration has fallen apart. Derek, you interrupted me, or you wanted me to stop?
Yes, I just want to. Reverend Pega, is the SKD not on a renovation?
Oh,
obviously,
excellent. And if the SKD is not
obviously it's on a renovation. So that's a general reason.
Now, but let me land on this. Give me my 30 seconds. Let me land. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains very clear.
Starting on you 30 seconds?
Yeah, it is. What's there? 30 seconds.
Wait, now, every time I'm talking, there's an interruption.
You know what?
Listen, Bobby, you gotta protect me, man. Mr. Mawolo, you know I love you, man, but you gotta protect me here.
Let me give you 10 seconds to conclude. Please conclude. Very Addy.
Listen, guys.
Additional 10 seconds.
Listen, guys. Do the rescue train. The rescue train is available for all of you to join. Do not continue to criticize the forerunner, the front runner of this victory, by joining with the Congress for Drug and Corruption to confuse the Liberian people. The train is wide, it's long enough, and we're willing for you all to join in. A few more days, we'll be selecting a president that will fulfill the very dreams and aspirations of the Liberian people. The
Thank you.
lives of our youth
Thank you.
are
Thank you,
threatened by
Thank you,
drug
Reverend Addy.
infestation and proliferation of ghettos. Thank you.
Keep the rest of the speech.
Thank you for clapping, Mr. Broder.
Ellis Channel would be Minister of Education.
You're getting every time.
Yeah, Bobby, you have to get a better earpiece, man. I'm enjoying you, but your phone is disturbing.
We gotta go, but let me, Reverend and Mr. Marlowe, let me give you 15 seconds, and I'll be really straight on that 15 seconds because we have exhausted the time.
For the
15
life
seconds,
of,
Mr.
for
Marlowe.
the life of me, for God's sake, why would the Liberian people bother with any of these two parties, the Unity Party and the CDC, when they own the traffic in lies? Everybody in competition with who can lie more than the other. They got nothing to offer Liberian people. Yeah, forget these people. They keep on trying to make it look like the people have a binary choice of one or the other of the worst choices. Both for you not going to second round. You can believe that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. J.
It's nice to dream. It's nice to dream.
I will think on that one, Mr. Mauro.
Guys, to those of you watching us, this is the Hard Zone, and you're watching us on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm joined by my co-host David Tarklet. For now, guys, let's take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll bring you our icebreaker round, and then we will take closing remarks from our panelists tonight. It's been a really great show, so let's talk
after the break. Why don't we discuss the CPP launching today?
It was not on the agenda.
Because it just tells you, man, it's not important. It's not important, Mr. Mawolo. It's not important, man. You know, like you can't push yourself in the agenda. Don't you see it?
Now we see what threatens. Now we know what
threatens. Don't you see it, Mr. Mawolo? I mean, can't you see it? The moderator was, I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, it's clear, you know, it's clear. You are not in the picture.
Now we know what threatens. The topic.
We know what threatens.
I mean, if you got to ask to be in the photo, obviously you're not in the picture. You know that.
Well, guys, it's been nice. Let's stay with us. If you're watching us, stay with us. This is the House Zone. We're right here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. My name is Derek Gale, and we will see y'all after the break.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Welcome back. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're back here on the Hard Zone, and this episode 2, season 4 of the Hard Zone is being brought to you by the Liberia Radio and Television Network. We've been here. We've had some. You can hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. We've been here having some really interesting. It's been a really interesting conversation here tonight. We talk about the situation with the drugs interception at the Rebels International Airport, and then we transition into the rescue mission train, where we talk about their campaign activities, and also we talk about some of the official campaign launch. So we've heard our panelists or positions on that. Now it's time that we take a break from all things politics and get right into our icebreaker round. So I will read out the question from our icebreaker round. If you're watching us, the icebreaker is where we discuss something outside of politics and have our panelists give you their takes on it. But you can also participate by leaving your participation in the comment section. But make sure you share the program already on your Facebook page so that your friends and family can benefit from that. The icebreaker question we have here for this episode is: if the capital of Liberia were to be relocated, where would you recommend and why? I will read that again. If the capital of Liberia were to be relocated, where would you recommend and why? Let me start with my co-host, Mr. David Tarkwa. Talk to us. If the capital of this nation, Liberia, were to be relocated, where would you recommend and
I
why?
would like for it to be relocated in Grand Croix County because number one, it's a coastal town. Number two, it's lack of hills. It's easily developable.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. David Tarkwa. And let's take you now, the Lord Mayor of Ventura. We're getting really bad feedback from you every time you unmute yourself.
Is it still happening?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I think it's
So
off now.
Just shut your whole device down and reboot it and see if it changes anything.
Instead, if it helps you, you can cancel a CPP campaign. Maybe that will. But let's try talking. We'll work with it.
Yeah, my computer just gave up.
My man.
So
use your phone then. Can you use your phone?
That's what
I'm using.
Use your phone, Bobby.
He's using his phone.
Do you have an earpiece, Bobby? Do you have an earpiece?
Yeah, it seems like my batteries are going there. I would just say Maryland. Maryland is well laid out already. I mean, I like the way the Atlantic Ocean is engulfing the land, and it's a beautiful place.
Thank you very much. Love me up the top, Mr. Cropper. Now let me take you, Mr. Jawin. If the capital
I would
city
say
of
Ghana.
go ahead, you got the question.
I would say Ghana because it is centrally located. Ghana will be fair for all Liberians because it's a fair distance. It is almost equal distance from Ghana to the southeast and go to the other part of the country. So Ghana is centralized. My choice would be Ghana.
Thank you very much, Mr. J. Mawolo.
You
If the
say
capital city, go
the
ahead.
capital, which capital? Industrial
capital-
Liberia's
business
capital.
or political capital?
The one that is Monrovia right now, if it were to be located.
Monrovia is everything right now. What I would suggest is that Monrovia remains the economic capital and the political capital be transferred to Bento.
And then you get Bobby Seven as the mayor. But
He
let's come to
who was supposed to be the mayor
Not your
suggested
boy.
Maryland.
Let's take you, Reverend Addy. What is your take on that?
Yeah.
Well, I would certainly choose Banga simply because it's north central and accessible to most of the counties. And when you really look at Liberia, right, for national security reasons, where you have embassies located near the ocean, for me, it's a problem. Having seen one or two countries, most embassies are in central, not near any ocean. So I would like to see our capital relocated to Banga, which is kind of central, and that embassies can be there. And for national security reasons, no one has access to the Atlantic Ocean at will for any infiltration or destabilization of the country. So Banga is my choice.
Thank you very much. Blue J Choppy Charlie.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Boaca surrogate is going to Bon County. I'm also going to Bon County, not Banga, but between Bon and Nima and Grand Bassa. There is,
At least we agree on something.
yeah, I think
No, this
that
one,
area is centrally.
one, come on. Yeah.
That area
Thank
is
you.
centrally located around the Zegepa area and going to attract development fast because everybody from across the country will be going to that
It's the
central
first time
location.
for the CDC
Which
and the
was
Unity
free.
Party to be on one accord.
I'm not in
Thank you.
Banga. He's going to Banga.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the
Thank you
very
very
first
much.
time.
And Flo J, and Mr. Sheriff coming in right after we talk about the drugs situation is very interesting to me. So we're in it. Mr. Sheriff, welcome to the house of
Blow
the.
J had to go get back up, eh?
Yeah, Blue, you want back up. Sherry here.
Sherry King, what's going on now?
Mr. Sherry, welcome to. I mean, you came here late. We're about to take closing remarks, but I will give you the opportunity to respond to our icebreaker round. If the capital of Liberia were to be relocated, where would you recommend and why?
Well, well, first of all, I want to extend my profound apologies to all of you because I was on a director conference, a very important one, so I did not make it on time on the show. So my apology, sincere apology to all of you. And I want to say thanks for the show. Blue Jay, man, you strong man. I've been on the conference at the same time watching the show, and I know how powerful you are. So your representation was right on point. So thank you for representing
Yeah,
the way you did.
appreciate.
Just say that for CDC press
I
conference.
didn't vote then.
Maula, big give me check, chief.
Twice. And the man can't say Blue Jay strong.
Shabby, you are
Yeah, but if you were to ask me, if you had to ask me
Deception and corruption.
well, I can tell you this government. But before I can just answer the brother's question, but I want to just make reference to what the Reverend just threw in there. This government is one of the governments that Liberia's ever experienced that people were just accused of corruption, but did not involve in the kind of corruption you talk about.
Mr. Sherry, this is the segment where we don't get to talk about politics. This is where we.
Yeah, but the Reverend just threw in corruption in there, so I had to respond to that.
You're going to catch every jab the Reverend throws at you?
No. But some jobs you don't let slide though.
You will respond to that in your closing remark, even though your closing remark will be your opening remark here tonight. But go ahead, just respond to the icebreaker round.
To ask me whether the capital of most radical County should be relocated. First of all, you have to tell me why you want it.
No.
What is it?
If it were to be relocated, all of the reasons.
Yeah, if it were to be relocated, first of all, I got to be convinced why. Why it should be relocated. If that why question is answered, then of course I can give you my takeaway should be located. But first of all, got to get
Don't you see
we're
that
not
is
Mr. Mawolo.
was built for 400
But Monrovia is not a capital of Monserrado County, though.
I do not want to make this all of a discussion.
No, he said Monserrado County.
No, I didn't say
Liberia.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then I misunderstood you. Sorry. But I would say because for now, if you had to ask me, the capital should be relocated. Then I will go Banga Bon County. And why? Because that's central Liberia, and that there are a lot of virgin area in that area that you can rebuild a capital in that area. So I will go with the Banga area, Bon County, because that's central Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Let me take you last on this icebreaker.
That's my short answer.
That's what we wanted from you, the short answer. Mr. Boda, if the capital of Liberia were to be relocated, where would you recommend and why?
Well, I would recommend it between Magdibi, Grand Bazaar, and Bon County, somewhere in that middle, because you can have a better road access to link the country across. You can have easy access from Buchanan. There will be a port activity from Monrovia, and from there to the rest of the country. And then
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Boda, and to all of you panelists tonight for your contribution on the discussions here tonight. And to remind, I know you were listening, Mr. Sheriff, but we did talk about the RIA drugs saga, and then we got into the rescue train camp. We talk about their campaign, official campaign launch is coming up on this Sunday, September 17, 2023. But again, guys, if you're watching us, thank you for staying with us this far. It's time now that we go to our panelists to give us their closing remarks. So if you're watching us, stay tuned for the closing remarks and leave us your contribution on the shows. in the comment section. You can also feel free to contact the network on Facebook. We have our contact details there. So let's start with you, Mr. Bodat. Give us your closing remark on this show for this episode. Mr. Bodat.
Well, I've always said that Liberian people, what I'm saying tonight is that be wise, think about your future. The nation of Liberia depends on you for the decision you make on the 10th of October. So you got a choice to make a difference or remain the same. And that's my advice to Liberian people.
Thank you very much, guys. And I must provide this information. I will be allotting 2 minutes to every panelist for their closing remarks. I do not have a lot of space to accommodate anyone else at 2 minutes. So if you're coming there, I will show you some for you to conclude. But if you go more than 3 minutes, I'll have to interrupt you and move on to the next panelist. Now, let me take you, Mr. Sheriff, because you just came. You can give us your closing remark on this episode.
Thank you so much. Again, I want my closing remark, like you said, will be my opening remark, both opening and closing. I want to urge the Liberian people, like the previous speaker just alluded to. This is one of the most consequential elections we've had in our lifetime. And you have a lot of people from the Cummings side, the Baka side, and other candidates. They are coming, feeding the Liberian people with lies, rumors, and innuendos, trying to kind of confuse the people not to vote for the CDC. But I will urge all Liberians, just look around you and see what the government has done in terms of national development. Tell me all the road construction you see going on today in Liberia that these opposition want to play indifference to. I want you to look around and see what is going on there. All the buildings that the government is erecting in Liberia to the administration, the administrative buildings that you see over there. You go to the National Port Authority, you go to the LPRC, you go to other areas, you see the government is developing. The hospitals you see being built in our country, the doctor you see being sent out for training to come and train other Liberians, like they say, train the trainers. Doctors are being sent out, bro, to specialized areas, and when they come, they train our Liberian doctors. Nurses are being sent out to come also in Liberia to train nurses. Those are a lot of things. Those are things that the government is doing that people are not paying attention to. Look at the schools, look at the students. And people will say, oh, it's nothing to pay wire tuition. I've always said this, and I will always say it. You look at a parent who cannot afford $100 a year and then tell them to go pay wire fee. Now the government paying that wire fee. That's lifting the burden off parents. Look at all the kind of feeder roads that are being constructed in our country. And look at the president. This is an enterprising young man who had this country at heart. He wants to build Liberia. Don't fall for all the distraction the opposition is trying to bring. Vote for George Weah. The number is number 18. Don't forget. And we'll be there October 10th, inshallah.
Mr. Sheriff, thank you so much for your closing, and thank you always for your contribution on this show. Now let's move on to you, Mr. Mawolo. Give us a closing remark.
Well, gentlemen, thank you all for the show tonight. And to the Liberian people, I will say to you, nobody can describe what you're going through more than you. You live in it. You going through it. Look behind you. Look at your children. Are they where you want them to be? Are you where you're supposed to be? These two group of people, this Unity Party and CDC, all they have fed you over the years, 18 years of your life is lies. And it's always been them. You vote for them, you cry the next day. You vote for them again, you cry the next day. You change them to the other one, you cry the next day. They say, are we stupid? Are we stupid? We act as if we only got two parties. No, you got very competent people waiting to serve this country and got nothing to gain out of it. You take a bunch of hustlers and give them your government, and then you cry. Can we stop that? Can we stop that in this election? Today, the CPP had their luncheon. The whole idea of that is the new direction of this country, my people. Look at vision. Look at innovation. Everybody's doing the same thing. CDC go to Anthony Tottenham Stadium. United Party won't go to show numbers. The same group of people wearing different t-shirts. Is that acceptable to you, Liberia? Don't you see where this country is going? It's up to you. Number 4, the fixer fighter team, Alexander Cummings and Charlene Bromskin, are standing there waiting for your votes to make a difference for your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mawolo, for your contribution as well. Let me take you now, Mr. Jai Winkin. Give us your closing remark for this episode.
Thank you. Fellow Liberians, we can agree on one thing. That is, whether you are in a village, whether you are in a city, you need broom to sweep. Whether it's a church house, wherever you have, you need a broom to sweep. What we have in our country is a debt. And that debt is corruption. And that corruption is killing your life. That corruption stealing your future. So for these elections, you have a broom man that will sweep the corruption, that will give you better future, that will bring back the old days of when Taba had the bank that used to give loans to build roads, to do a lot of stuff. So the broom man is number 6. When a broom man takes power, whether you are represented, whether you are senator, if you do anything, you'll be arrested the same way ordinary person will be arrested. The broom man is down to earth. The broom man is Tiawonse Gongro. He is number 6. What I have to say to all of you, the debt we have in Liberia is corruption and rule of law. And wherever you live, Hungry House, Zin House, Mon House, the broom can sweep the debt. And that debt is the broom man, Tiawonse Gonglo and Yagbawro. Vote for them on Tuesday, October 10, to sweep all the debt so that you get better future. The debt, again, I repeat, is corruption, rule of law. People who think that they are above the law. The money they are using is your money. But you need someone else to give you the opportunity so that you realize your own dreams that God gave you. It is the corruption that's killing you, not to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. We are Roger Choppy Charlie. You're next.
What we continue to listen to, especially from our friends who squander opportunity for 12 years, is promises. The promises to build road. But on Josh, we are in 6 years, when compared to Unity Party 6 years, and 47 plus kilometer of roads in 6 years. Joshua has done 300 plus roads in 6 years. On Unity Party 12 years, they constructed about 25 kilometer community roads. On Joshua, we have 105 kilometer community roads, including where Joseph Baga lives in Pingsway in rehab. His own house is benefiting from Joshua construction community roads that did not exist. On this president, Josh Weah, we are prostitution
Roger,
goes on.
Roger, your internet is not.
And that's why we did not see.
Roger, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm
your
hearing
internet,
you. I'm hearing
your
you.
internet is tripping. Your internet is tripping, so we can't hear you. Breaking in and out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I will come back. Try.
No, let the man finish.
Go ahead. I'll give you an additional minute.
But I'm not. If I'm not getting, because right now I think it's spinning. So probably I gotta
No,
reset.
you are doing good. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We're hearing you. We're hearing you. We are hearing you, Blue Jay.
Why you why you like this?
I was hearing the man just now when the man was talking, so we can hear you.
Masa hearing him.
Maula, what happened, my man? You can hear the man talking. The man speaking in code.
Am I audible now?
The man's calling in from Liberia, man. You gotta consider the man line.
What I'm saying, the man should go ahead. When you were talking, we're hearing him. You know, the lies, the way you were talking, we're not hearing now. The truth is coming, we can hear it.
Two-party system,
the internet got the internet gets signal for misinformation. So it'll go
that was funny.
Yeah, let Blue Jay finish.
Blue Jay, go ahead.
Look, Blue Jay's talking about we're not hearing him. The line still giving problem, I think.
I mean, how do you say you can hear the man?
I'm not hearing him.
The man is speaking, but we're not hearing him because I think.
I know we're not hearing him.
Blue Jay, okay, just go to bed. Blue Jay is okay, just go to bed. Lana good.
Yeah, the line good today. Hopefully next time. The line.
So.
Now some of the development CDC doing no internet.
No internet, look back on there.
Just about whatever 12 years, you put internet in home. We just been there 3.5 years.
And that is why people put you there for 5 years. That is not excuse.
So that's 12 years, you put internet in home. Yeah, CDC.
All of them got rich, but the country remain.
I mean, when Bugger will be on. Roger, you finish your time, brother.
Samuel 12 gonna come back on air and say you're selling internet to that to other countries too.
Exactly.
No. You see, you're misquoting the whole thing.
It's almost 11 o'clock.
Let's give Reverend Addy the opportunity to close for us, please.
Okay, let me say Reverend.
My fellow Liberians, the young brothers and sisters of CDC, the Congress of Drug and Corruption. For almost 5.5 years, you've consistently shouted "Muya Muya."
Am I audible now?
As a life
Am I audible? Am I audible?
You come back again with this same thing?
Am I audible now?
All right, go ahead. You are audible. Go ahead, Blow J. Go ahead. You're doing good. All the way from Liberia. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm in Lofa County where Joseph Baga failed to carry on any development. So in closing, based on the record of this president, where in fact Joseph Baga is promising
every time the president, the
build houses for ordinary people. But George is already doing those houses across the country to build hospital, for example, like in Babylon and other places. The president is already doing that.
No, sorry, man. Let's just take you, Reverend Addy. You got 15 seconds left.
Lord, next Thursday.
15 what?
Next Thursday, when you come back to America, man.
How you give me 15 seconds? Anyway, let me close.
Minutes. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I know. So, my fellow Liberians, we're at a crucial junction. Few days from now, we'll be electing a president. This is serious. So, if you think your life is comfortable, where too much drugs coming in the country, you're not getting paid on time, you cut your salary, they cut your salaries, then George Weah is your president. If you are okay with a filthy city, the selling of our passports, where we have been internationally embarrassed by this president and his association with drugs, then elect him for another 6 years. If you are okay with the fact that electricity they claim to be giving you is more expensive than you can afford, then George Weah is a president. To the LU students, if you are okay that your university, you got to demonstrate almost every time to get funding for your university, then George Weah is your president. To my Muya brothers and sisters in the CDC, if you are okay to keep calling us in America where the Western Union has increased just so you can buy food, and we are sending money to you just for food, not to buy clothes anymore, just for food, then George Weah is your president. But if you genuinely want change, a better life that can change for a better future, then that vision, that dream is in none other but Joseph Yuma Boyka. We put a clear plan in place. We want Liberia to be self-sustainable by agriculture and food. We want to build your roads like we started 12 years ago. We give you roads. We clean your debt. The money CDC is using today is money that we negotiated for to continue to pave your road. But see what he has done. Corruption has increased. You can't have a social life. You got to be home certain time. When you look at your homes, you are boarded in gates, iron bars because of criminality, crimes all over the place. The truth remains, we have been embarrassed by this president, and make no mistake, rescue is on its way. The train is big, and we are calling Mr. Cummings, we are calling Tiawan Gongolo and the likes to join this train. Let's save Liberia from this fall. Hey, Mr. Maulo, you please and I wow, we are giving to Yaya to come by.
Thank you, bro.
Derek, Mr. Brother, why they feel it? Oh, we got to come back.
There's no more time.
Listen, right? Listen, Derek, listen, right? The reason why Blue Jay internet are not working, every time sedition line, the internet gets signal for it.
Guys, but it's been
sorry, man.
It's been a great conversation. I noticed that every time he say president, every time the president record.
There's a country we're left with. There's a country Joseph Baka and his unity party left for us, and we're trying to improve conditions.
And now the one you was supposed to face, and you didn't face it.
Thank you, guys.
We are improving the country that was left for us. It's not going. You could not fix it in 12 years. You fail to fix it in 12 years. You have another person facing 6 years.
Guys, we got to get out of here. We're exhausted all of the time for this show. So before I excuse you guys, let me just we started with my co-host, Mr. David Tarkler. So let me just get your final words, and then we can wrap the curtain on this, and then excuse you guys.
Yeah, Jerry, I'd like to thank you and thank all the panelists. I'm terribly sorry that we can observe my lights are on and off, although the Blue City government has electrified the entire country. But I'm in the coconut plantation area in Mamba Point.
No, stop misrepresentation. No. We have to stop that. No, those misrepresentations cannot be allowed. Cannot be permitted by a moderator. A moderator cannot say they're a political hack. No. A moderator cannot become a political hack. The moderator cannot become a political hack. The moderator cannot become a political hack. That's misrepresentation. That misrepresentation of the station for a moderator of the station to misrepresent intentionally. And information. It has to be corrected. No, it has to be corrected. It has to be corrected. The co-moderator has to retract. He has to retract the disinformation. The co-moderator cannot do that. He has to retract the disinformation.
That is
no, but he has to retract the disinformation. Nowhere did I suggest, nowhere did I say that the whole country was electrified. The co-moderator is stealing disinformation and negative propaganda. You have to stop that.
Let's give him the opportunity.
No. But you have to correct the disinformation.
Okay, let's give him the opportunity to speak.
Isn't that true? In Mama Point?
No, talk about the darkness, but don't misrepresent me.
So gentlemen, So, gentlemen, so that was a very good show. I like the arguments, the different views, and that's what democracy is all about, for people to express their opinions. And that's exactly what I noticed is taking place on the hearts, on everyone is speaking their hearts. And Blow Jay, if you offended, I'm sorry for that. If you
No, no, no,
offended,
no,
but
no, no. I don't feel
but
offended. I need you to
Blood
correct
if
the
you offended,
disinformation.
Mr. Zach,
It is
but
not
Blood
about
you see me
feeling.
in it.
It's
Blood
about
you are
facts.
seeing me in the darkness.
Roger
Blood
Chocolate
is
Charlie,
it not an
Roger
evidence?
No, no, no. It is about
Mr.
facts.
Chocolate, Mr.
Don't
Chocolate,
do it about my feeling.
thank you.
You have to
Blood
show
is it?
integrity
Thank
here.
you.
You misrepresented me.
Thank you.
You have to show
Is it not
integrity.
an evidence?
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you,
Blood
bro.
J.
Thank
No,
you
no,
very
no.
much, guys. It's been a great conversation here. It's
Yes,
11.
a good
It's not
It's
my
conversation.
11
feelings.
minutes.
Thank you,
It's one
Derek.
minute past the time we're supposed to be on. Thanks to all of you for your contribution tonight. Until the next episode, I want to say thank you all for your contribution, and those of you watching us, thank you for staying with us. You have just one more segment to go. That is the announcement, but that will be without the panelists, just my co-host and myself. But again, guys,
Don't
Bloche,
forget
Choppy,
number
Charlie,
4.
Mr. Sherry,
Number 4
Mr. Boda,
coming.
Mr. Maola, Reverend Adi, Mr. Weir, thank you guys so much, and I will see you all on the next episode. Until then,
Remember number 18.
Not too long. We'll forget before
Thank
we reach
you.
there.
And Derek, next time, please bring the main thing there.
Noted.
The ANC people, bring it back next time.
Hi, my name is Theophilus Jilipa Nelson I. I am the founder and CEO of Lift Africa LLC. Lift Africa started as an employment agency that sought the employment of immigrants coming to the U.S. and finding ways and means to go to start life in this great your country. Now we have added airport pickups and drop, car rental, or rental. As you see, we have a new business location. Started with just a little office part, but today we have a whole complex that we can do a lot of stuff with.
Hello everyone, my name is Geneva Kreitz. I'm the Executive Administrator of Uplift Africa. We have an excellent employment rate at our company. We work with and for you regardless of your situation. If you've ever been in prison, maybe your background isn't great, do not worry. We have a place for you here. We believe in equal opportunity for everyone, especially you. So sign up today and begin earning.
My name is Emmanuel P. Horton, Operational Director for Live Africa. Live Africa is the place to be.
welcome back. Can you hear me, David? Can you hear me? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this final segment of the Horizon. And this is where we bring you announcement from our announcement folder. I'm here with my co-host from Liberia, Mr. David Tarkway. And I will begin with the first announcement we have here. The Liberian Association of Pennsylvania LAT will be hosting the 49th General Assembly under the banner of the Union of Liberia Associations in the Americas, that is ULI for short, between September 14, 2023 and September 17, 2023. So today, the meeting was actually today between 8 and 11 p.m. Tomorrow will be the business sessions, and the time is to be determined. So they will have a dinner ball on the 16th between 7 to 11 p.m. and then the worship service will be on the 17th. Again, it's the 49th General Assembly of the Union of Liberia Association in the Americas. And this event is being hosted by the Liberia Association of Pennsylvania, LAP for short. And the date, September 14 to September 17, 2023. The next announcement we have is the same organization, Liberia Association of Pennsylvania. This is yeah, I think it's the same one. The next one we have in our folder here is the All Nation Christian Church. Cordially inviting you to its bishopric ordination service. Bishop-elect Amos Hagar on September 24th, 2023 at 2:30 p.m. And the address is 111 South Springfield Road, Clifton Heights, PA 19018. So again, that is an invitation to a bishopric ordination. Bishop-elect Amos Hagar. And if you that is one of our panelists here, Bishop Hagar will be ordinated as bishop on September 24th, 2023. The next announcement we have is from the Multicultural Community Family Services, and it is a City Line Church SAT prep program for high school students. Priority is given to 10 and 11th grade students who are attending public schools. And the address for that is Crossroad Community Church, 104 Heather Road, Upper Darby, PA 19082. And it's instructing you here to use the glass doors and parking lot at the side of the building. The meet on Saturday, September 16, 2023, and the classes starts promptly at 9:30 a.m. and ends at 11 a.m. Student must register prior to attending. So we have this flyer on that have the phone number and the point of contact. The person to contact one copy in CN at 215-275-2837 or at email kobinan@gmail.com, and that is KOBINAH@gmail.com. Again, it is a City Line Church SAT prep program. So that's it. And we also another invitation to the Bishopric Ordination Service, and then we have ULA 49th General Assembly. So the last announcement we have is one coming out of Liberia, and I will go to my co-host, Mr. David Takwe, and we are privileged to announce to you that this network, the Liberia Radio and Television Network, is now operating a full service in Liberia, and we will join our co-host, Mr. David Takwe, to give us more information on that.
Yes, Derek, thank you very much. And in Liberia, LRTN is doing extremely well in terms of being on top of the issues, providing the public here in Liberia and across the country, across the world, with all the unfolding developments coming out of Liberia. So thank you, Derek. And our offices again are located on Kerry Street in Central Monrovia, Kerry and Center Streets intersection in Central Monrovia. So if you want to do business or want to get in contact with LRT in Liberia, come to the Old Sheila Cinema building on Kerry Street or at the center of Kerry and Center Streets. You will find us there on the top floor of the Old Sheila Cinema building, where LRT and Liberia offices are located. You are welcome there at any time. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Takwe. And to those of you watching, and this is where we draw the curtain to the horizon. It is a pleasure having all of you here, and thank you so much for supporting us as we bring this program to you every Thursday. So join us again next week, Thursday, same time. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we will bring you another episode of the Horizon. But until then, I'd like to say thank you, and Mr. David Takwe, have a good night, and those of you watching us, have a pleasant night as well.
Good night, Derek.
Thank you.
Then Netflix pick out a song. Yeah, I got money that's funny. my first time to see someone fry. More than anything in the world can make me to laugh. When I look at my country, I laugh. When I look at Jimmy, I laugh. When I look at story, I laugh. I can laugh just like hero. I can laugh just like Batman. I can laugh just like Zero. I can laugh just like Gaman. Kiki, I just laugh. 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 Fancy love me calling all taking breath. She know English, she know math. She not able to draw common graph. And I asked she just end up. She spent 12 years in UL, fan row, fin up. And the man said she go away. Tell her say that I ain't inclined not to learn but to grind. But the teacher can say it. She not talking in tired, she still acting high. I will take her more hand. When they pay, I will pass and stay to my one hand. But Jonah can make me to laugh by he paying good money. Don't take off my blast. That's in that can make me to laugh when they eat a golf when they're not in a class. People funny next zero. I thought for joke, yeah, but they tell you not zero. Kiki, I just laugh. Kiki, I just laugh. Kiki.